Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the Battle Ball European second day Battle Ball European qualifiers. Join with me tonight is Barney himself. How are you doing, man?
Very excited. Lots of anticipation going around. This is, after all, going to be the deciding day for which two teams will be sent off to play against the North American two finalists when they happen later on today. So, very excited. Got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to. And yeah, we actually saw how we have two teams already that have a flawless bracket matches happening, not even having a single loss in their sets. And I'm talking about not a single loss. Not even a single 1-versus-1 out of place or a single 3-versus-3, especially in the favor of Team Bad Intentions, who proved to be carrying their name as an all-star team, as I said before, probably the number one contender for this qualifiers. And I would really be happy to see them, representing Europe in the Battle Brawl actual tournament, in the live stage in the North America, of course, region. And they are so strong and so immersive. Like, I want to see a little bit of a fight coming over from the side of Team Ball Cute Fanclub. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think that the Bowl Cute Fan Club definitely has a solid amount to offer as well. The members also have a lot of credibility to their name. One of them, in fact, having legendary status. After all, let's not forget. I think probably the underdogs at the moment would be the Abusement Park. I think that their competition today is very, very high level, and that meeting that and even putting up a fight would be very admirable and very well received. If they manage to win, it's going to be a story to tell for quite some time.
It is indeed, and I would actually like to see one of our very first matches that are scheduled to be upcoming here is going to be a mirror matchup against two destroyers, which is Qualifiers, the well-known destroyer that in Rumble in the Realm 3, I believe, or the regionals, all regionals in 2017, had a lot of criticism around whether he is good enough to actually represent the team. And he proved to be a very, very good destroyer, and by far proving himself on the ladders as well, having a pretty decent spot as one of the main rosters, and of course Team Updog. And Selpy Chinese, I can tell you myself that for quite a while he actually managed to be in the top of the ladder, standing there strongly with Mr. B at a few points. So you are facing these are two monstrous destroyers, but do you think any one of them might have somewhat of an edge over each other, other than other?
Well, as you mentioned, Colorized was present at the regionals in 2017. I had the pleasure of being able to meet him along with many other players as well. And as you say, there were in fact doubts about his ability to replace a team member, especially on such a potent team, which now, as you say, has such credibility to its name in Bad Intentions. But he blew everybody's expectations away. He proved himself to be just so great at what he does, and so unexpectedly as well. People were doubting him quite fervently. So I'm very, having witnessed that firsthand, I'm certain that he has the potential to just run away with this match. But as you say, Selpy Chinese does also have a lot of ladder experience, so we may in fact see a fairly decent match, fairly interesting. However, my personal take, I do probably lean a little bit in favor of Colorized. And I'm not biased because he's English. That's definitely not why.
Well, that's actually probably why you fancy him a little bit. Well, I actually can tell you that for some moments when I was playing, when I'm playing BNS, I actually got to meet Selpy Chinese in the game, not in person yet, maybe someday. And I got to do some dungeons with him. That is as close as I would get to, playing with a person, and he is really a nice guy. I can tell you his TPS output is decent as well, but that's not too relevant for this tournament.
True.
And I can tell you he actually adapts to a very different playstyle compared to other destroyers sometimes. Most destroyers would be running the stun stone show. Well, he sometimes run iron plating versus others, and well, in some manners, depending on what Colorize run in the first match, the guard break knee could be very useful, but also giving up on that very very useful tool of the normal knee, which Mr. B is a big fan of, a big fan of. I mean, this is basically somewhat of his trademark in a way.
But as you say, if Selpy Chinese does in fact go for the shorter cooldown shield in an attempt to try and evade certain moves, in the mirror match as well, for those that don't know, destroyers have many tools that ignore the parry potential of the hurricane spin, and so without that layer of safety that they would normally have against other classes, it can be very useful to have the shield on a shorter cooldown. And as you say, if we do see the guard break knee in action, then it could prove to be very, very devastating.
Indeed, it might just be that. But of course, there is the chance that Selpy Chinese will go with the standard stone shield. But what is your prediction here on potentially the outcome of this tournament? Who do you think will be the top two teams that are going to be representing Europe in the Battle World finals?
Truly, I'm perfectly okay with any of these teams getting through. I think that they've more than proven themselves worthy of representing us, especially having seen the North American teams yesterday. I think that we do, in fact, as a region, have a pretty good chance, I'd say. However, I do have to skew a little bit in favor of the crowd favorites as well, most likely. I think Bad Intentions and Bulky Fanclub have the highest chance of getting through, and potentially Updog as well. The underdogs of Abusement Park would also, I'm certain that they would have no difficulties in the live event. But the tried and true players of the teams of Bad Intentions, especially, I think are very, very good representatives of this region's true potential.
Well, I can tell you that my predictions are actually pretty standard. I think Bad Intentions will obviously be securing themselves the first place. And, both Updog and Abusement Park, as much as I want to give them credit for being very good teams, Pieb and Aries, and Zapish being in a single team, basically isn't too different from having Tenor Ryuki and Mr. B at the same team. It is still an all-star team, and I believe that the difference in terms of tournament experience as well, some of these players actually went to the live stage and no longer feel intimidated by the setup. As we saw before yesterday, some players that if they were on the ladder right now, they would play amazingly. But the second it becomes an official tournament, they have some pressure going on. They feel that they're being watched. Obviously, they are being watched, but this time there is something on the line. They're not used to having that risk, waiting on their shoulders. And for that reason, I believe that some teams were a little bit underperforming in a way. Not necessarily to an extent that I would say they played complete garbage. Most of these, all of these teams were playing to their almost utmost potential, but it's the setup that could be very frightening, very intimidating for some players. and that obviously affects their ability to play in their most potential here. And we're off already to our first match. Gonna be Colorized versus Selpy Chinese. Both the Blitz already being iframe from the side of Selpy Chinese here. And there is Emberstorm pummels the ball of the Emberstorm. We'll see who's gonna be taking this here. Astonishing coming in from the side of Colorized. And there is actually the Iron Plating build with a Party Protect iPhone coming in from the side of Selpy Chinese. Does manages to find the grab. Gus will be popped from the side of Colorized here. And here's the answer coming in from the side of Selpy Chinese here. The Typhoon does expire, but the Scorching Strike will be able to iframe the Blitz. There is the air combo waiting for him. But there is the drag. Does manages to connect on the side of Polarized here, grappling him, and with the wedge doing some decent damage on top of Selpy Chinese here, but the top is good, and another grab coming from
to resist crowd control effect.
Indeed, and there is the Blitz connecting on top of Selpy Chinese here. No, Colorized. I'm sorry. Stone Shield is coming over from both of these sides, healing a little bit of HP. However, Colorized is using a different kind of Stone Shield, allowing him to extend on that heal just a little bit.
Oh, beautiful backstep to avoid the drag there.
There is the Blitz connecting on top of Colorized here. The knee actually not connecting, and Persist was popped by Colorized. I don't know if anyone knows this, but Typhoon is being used. No answer coming from Colorized to that Typhoon, playing a little bit too passive in my opinion at least. And there's another Stone Shield. Iron Plating might be coming full Blitz. Actually connected, doesn't manage to land. There is a Persistence. The bunker is actually strong.
He grabs him out of the
shield. The Gus is good, and actually Colorized, he didn't deflect.
This could be disastrous. This could be the game.
The Ram is
it
good.
Will be.
The OP Chinese will be securing the first win for Team Abusement Park here. And this is exactly the TI called for. I believe we are getting a little bit of sound from the game, so I'm pretty happy about that. But it's kind of coming and going. It's kind of weird, but
2 seconds left on Persistence. Oh, so close. If he had just however, as far as I'm aware, that was his own Ember Stomp. I'm not quite sure how he managed to get deflected in Ember Stomp, considering it makes you immune to most crowd control effects, including stun. So it's an interesting interaction.
No, I think I can actually tell what was going on there. You see, this being displaced in almost a few manners from the Ember Stomp, even by a little bit, could jeopardize the buff duration. And basically, if I think Selpy Chinese, what he was using, it was the drag, okay, pushing Colorized's character hitbox out of the Ember Stomp, and basically the debuff was demolished, extinguished, you could say. And of course, Colorized was still confident that he was, in fact, in his Ember Stomp, trying to cleave and deal some damage back as an answer for Selpy Chinese. What Selpy Chinese did know this, that Colorized has no protection from CC, and he just spun or spinned, I guess. Past perfect is a little bit of a hardship for me, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it is in fact true that the tick rate for Ember Stomp is perhaps a bit slow at times, so that was definitely very unfortunate. However, as you correctly predicted beforehand, Selpy Chinese and in fact Colorized as well, neither of them were using the stun shield, instead opting for the shorter cooldown shields. One of which was using the party protection, very much works in the same way as Force Master's Frost Sheath, and the other person was using, I believe it was Selpy Chinese, was using the activatable 3-second immunity shield, which I believe has only a 24-second cooldown, so he was able to stay relatively safe in most cases. when Colorized was grabbed out of his shield, that was very unfortunate. That was probably the moment that may have decided that match, given that he had already used his Persistence and he needed to use his Gust in order to escape the grab, because that setup is very unfavorable in pretty much every situation. So
Yeah, that is true. Usually you would see most destroyers running that stun stone shield against each other, but in this situation, I will tell you something: the iron plating one is basically a guaranteed protection. The sheath, basically, stone shield, which does give a 5 seconds defense, has only been procced. You have to be able to get hit to be able to proc that defensive sheath, and that is kind of why sometimes you would prefer, you could say, the iron plating one. Of course, also hitting into the iron plating stone shield and or having Selpy Chinese wedge the enemy gives him a lower cooldown, and that's already 24 seconds with a potential of even having it in a lower cooldown. It's very comfortable because you can have the enemy destroyer pop his persistence, and you can just sit in that iron plating, not needing to worry about whether or not your enemy is going to be popping your sheath. Because if Selpy Chinese plays it patiently, he can still capture Colorize out of his defensive skill. So that is a very dangerous position to be in. I believe next match is actually gonna be. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Well, actually, you know what? I wanna point out another thing about this match. Both players were using their drag skill in a pretty similar fashion when it comes to, displacing the enemy out of their Ember Storm. There is a thing that a lot of players that play this kind of tend to forget, that the animation of drag, you said, basically, has somewhat of like a pull to it. You can actually make it so your character is turned around and the distance it will cover will be a little bit more. And the animation itself, the CC, would sort of last longer as well. So that is something that you would probably want to take notice on too, because not using it to its full potential could just be pointless in the terms of Ember Storm. If the enemy destroyer is still standing inside this Ember Storm, you're not gonna be doing anything. It's just gonna be written a resist, and that is it. Actually.
Indeed, in such a mirror match situation, of course, when you're in Ember Stomp, you are invulnerable to most crowd controls, stun, daze, and knockdown, and knockback included. However, two that you are not immune to, one of which is an instant knockup, so mostly applicable to Kung Fu Masters with their smite, and the other being a pull, which, as you mentioned, both destroyers have access to with drag, and if you turn away from where you pull the enemy, they'll still be pulled directly in front of you, and this can be used very advantageously. They were in fact trying to do this, however, they perhaps mistimed it a little bit, or the buff had not fully expired when they came to. And so neither drag was actually too effective. Mostly, there was actually one moment where Selpy Chinese had a wonderful backstep, and he avoided the colorized drag. And of course, if you get a resist with the Destroyer backstep, assuming it works, we all know how Destroyer backstep is, then you get an instant proc of Scorching Strike, and that allows him, and he instantly dashed right colorized, launched him up in the air, and that gave him a very, very free setup.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Barney, I'm gonna stop you right there. It seems that the last match was considered bugged in a way, or there was some sort of something that wasn't going correctly. So we're gonna be having a rematch happening between Colorized and Selpy Chinese. So no point was given to Abusement Park just yet. Selpy Chinese will have to be facing off against Colorized once again to be able to secure himself the first point of the set. In terms of the pointing system, the format of this tournament is, of course, going to be 2 matches of 1 versus 1, followed by a 3 versus 3, which is going to be granting the teams 2 points for every 3 versus 3 and 1 point for every 1 versus 1. And to finish it off, you're going to be having another 1 versus 1 to end the set. So remember that, as it might just come up here. It's going to be Colorized facing off in a rematch versus Selpy Chinese. The iframes being used by both players, and there is a stone shield with the iron plate and Ember Stone being placed by both players, and there is the destroyer Ember
It's
Brawl
right.
coming from here, and the Blitz is connecting on top of the OP Chinese. The Gust is there, and
Tweeted that out perfectly.
and actually both players using that persistent beam pop-up aggressively. Colorize choosing to withhold the indeed, and there's the Ram
Stunned
connecting.
out of it.
Typhoon will be able to eye from a little bit here. So OP Chinese actually out of focus completely. Might be bad for
There
him.
it is, guard break knee.
Guard break knee coming in.
Oh god, he's got nothing. 5 seconds from Gust.
Colorize, knowing his enemy's playstyle here, and actually
he
in
counters
the
it.
power slam. That is
Gets deflected.
really hard to
Have some
do.
of your own medicine.
There's the Ember Storm being placed with both players, and actually Colorize placing himself somewhat even in an awkward position outside of his Ember Storm. As manages to find a Scorching Strike here, and there is a power slam landing with the X.
Oh, this is so bad, he's gonna get it!
Colorize securing himself the first win here. Very surprising. I would honestly, you know, you do know what your enemy is gonna be using now in this rematch. I kind of feel like maybe the OP Chinese undermined the guard break knee. I think it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I think he definitely underestimated that a little bit, especially since its cooldown is a little bit longer than the stone shield that he opted to use. And I definitely don't think he was expecting that. And it's so very potent. Being hit by the guard break knee, it doesn't just break your guard, it disables defenses for 6 seconds, which means the Colorize can do something very disgusting, which we actually saw him end up doing in order to win that, which is you grab the opponent, you slam them down with that power slam, you gain access to Wrath, very, very strong skill, but they can't use a ground counter now because they're still defense sealed. All he had to do was keep him knocked down so that even if he did get his persistence back, he still wouldn't be able to use it, and he finished him off with that final smash to just seal the deal. He's angry.
Well, you could have felt he was basically Colorize. I feel Selpy Chinese is also a very adaptive player, but Colorize, after having the first match, he really easily pinpointed what was wrong in his playstyle. And actually, you could have felt it today, this match, the second match, that he was a lot more aggressive, knowing where Selpy Chinese is kind of lacking, and took full advantage of that.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah, the guard break knee was actually amazing. Our second match here is coming on. It's gonna be Brother Bill representing Team Updog facing off against Eternal Fox on the side of the Abusement Park here. Already switched out. Enhanced switch out will be actually popped on the side of Eternal Fox here, allowing him to get some of those very cheap sunflowers. Phantom Grab does connect on the side of Brother Bill. Ground counter in the cat here, and Beacon not doing much on the side of Eternal Fox. There is the cat
lightning
bounce.
droid's trying to get it.
Eternal
No
Fox
escape
has
from
no
the
escape
side.
available, and True Friend will be used here, and actually
This could be very, very bad for Eternal Fox.
Fox might be in trouble here. Just manages to find that reflex roll.
Oh, he
No.
does get the Phantom Grab. Oh god, if he does something risky here, okay, he doesn't go for the Blade Storm. I would have loved to see it, but now he's keeping him down.
There's a
Oh!
lightning throw in. Brother Bill finish him off in style here, securing Team Updog a second point here. And wow, that was actually really surprising.
What was that burst? Oh, okay. That was what happened there at the very end was very, very, very quick. For those that didn't quite catch that, he had already used his lightning draw. He managed to use his lightning draw, and then he used raid immediately afterwards in order to stun Eternal Fox, forcing him to use his escape skill. After the aerial, when he dropped him down, Bill attempted to knock down both Eternal Fox and his cat, but then he avoided all the CC, all the crowd control from the cat, and beautifully finished off with a lightning slash into a flash step. So no 5-point strike. He opted for just raw damage, no stun, flash step. Like 12,000, maybe a little bit less damage in a flash. No pun intended.
That's true. A lot of times, players choose the path that would somewhat seem closer to the PvE style when it comes to the summoner. The reason being, maybe, perhaps, not always the case, but I like to think about it as a way like you want to burst the summoner fast enough because otherwise the cat is going to be all over you. And you won't be able to deal much. If you're basically, you can imagine RMB, LMB coming in from the destroyer side being kind of an okay damage, but it's going to take a while until you're going to be killing the summoner.
Indeed.
That's why some players decide to actually go for the Fury build against the summoner and just basically bursting them down. And in the case of Brother Bill here, he decided to take the path that was somewhat closer to the PvE, as obviously no one, I think, uses 5-point psych anymore in PvE. So that is a lot of damage coming in from for the summoner. And, well, Eternal Fudge was just not ready for that. You couldn't expect something like that. It's basically holding that hidden card. It's like Eternal Fox were probably expecting something more of the orientation, like a 5-point psych, an air combo of some sort. And then suddenly, Brother Bill just pulls out the card with that lightning draw, and all that PvE damage coming out of nowhere.
It's wonderful.
It is. I like his style when it comes to these matches, always being very creative. And I think we're almost just about ready to see our first 3 versus 3 tag match of the evening, which is going to be Team Updog facing off against Team Abusement Park. What is your take on this, Barney? Because I believe we already got to see a little bit of maybe who's.
Well, their team compositions are very good. We'll have to see how this plays out. And Color is already getting the jump on Eternal Fox.
Yes, he is, and True Friend will be popped. There is the Iron Plate already coming from the side of Color Eyes here, spinning, trying to find that extra damage from his enemy here. Eternal Fox will be using that cat change, opening some distance, and of course, Color Eyes getting some nice focus on the cat. Not exactly dealing damage since it is in Couching Tiger, but there is a creative way of getting some focus back. In head switch, won't be popped, and the Scourging Strike.
Oh, good tech chase.
There's a grab, but the beacon popping persistence aggressively, dealing some damage, forcing the second win from Eternal Fox here.
Now the True Friend coming out, protecting him from that.
Is available for the side of Color Eyes here, but Team Abusement Park with Miu coming in and refreshing Eternal Fox's escape here. Gonna give him somewhat of an advantage here, as Team Updog does not have a walk and don't really benefit from friend. Typhoon is being used here, knocking back Eternal Fox here, and there's another
drag tech chase
here. Eternal Fox being very patient with his second win. Once again, Smash does connect. There is the and actually jumping back a little bit as Color Eyes doesn't have any escape here. Will be switching off to Brother Bill, who just gets a friendly smash from Selpy Chinese before his interfere times out. There's a
Scorching resisted there, and the Phantom Grip resisted by the Typhoon. The Scorching Strike resisted by Bill.
Defending Bill here, and the X Whip is good. There is the knee and forcing Brother Bill's escape, but using that dual strike will be forcing the persistence on the side of Selpy Chinese. A very interesting choice by him. And there is a deep strike. Brother Bill might be in trouble here, but it's gonna be Color Eyes to the rescue with that Iron Plate, helping his teammate out. And Brother Bill,
he avoids the gust. This is
avoids the gas. Guardian Tempest will be used. Has his escape up in just a minute, but he is playing against a wall. This could be bad for him. Actually chooses to take the easy path, switching over to his teammate here. Cymex is inside, and usually is in a very favorable match for him. Trying to find that beacon, but Mio opening the distance. There is the leech with the untouchable air combo. The Dragon Helix are bombarding Cymex's HP, dropping him to 50% here. And not popping in the enhanced siege route once again, playing it very safe, grasping wood. Mio standing underneath that, not a lot of focus is going to be available for him. Cymex is actually 35% HP as Brother Bill is coming in. There is the bees actually coming in from the side here of Eternal Fox. A very unorthodox build in this orientation, as he is inside. Good, and knockback Typhoon coming in from Selpy Chinese might be able to save his teammates some HP here, and it's Brother Bill facing off against actually facing off against the OP Chinese. Both players very healthy and actually both low in focus here as they did interfere just a little bit longer. 5.5 will be connected as...
Fake out. Oh no, pedal toss. Could have been huge damage, but unfortunately it was prevented by his teammate.
The Phantom Grab is good, and actually still OP Chinese has no Gust available. This might put him in a little bit of an uncomfortable position. And who does connect, and Persistence will be popped. Forced to go out, Mio will be coming in, and actually still OP Chinese might be a little low on tokens here as he did tag out before the time twice already. Sunken will be placed and no target is available on the side of Brother Bill here. A good enough leech might be able to
beat it out the ground counter.
as Brother Bill drops a little bit of HP, but Colorize with the shift helping his teammates out. Guardian Tempest is good, the raid will be connected, Void Walk will be keeping me away. Some damage, Lightning Glow is available, and will we see it coming out? Not just yet, there is the time distortion coming over, and Mio will be forced to kind of play around his second win as still succeed in that time distortion. There's another Tether Blade, and actually there is the Narcotic Chains, forcing the Persistence on the side of Colorize here. Not exactly what Colorize wanted, but gets the double team from the side here of Team Updog, and actually Colorize.
No tag-outs left on the side of the amusement park.
It's gonna be Eternal Fox, however, I know that Eternal Fox can probably be in a pretty decent spot here. Colorize with a Scorching Strike.
Oh, he deflects him!
Goes back, and Eternal Fox will be using that beacon ram, does connect, and the CC is good, however, does manages to find the reflex roll, kind of trapping the combo on the side of Colorize, using that Eye of the Storm, dealing some pretty decent damage, and actually gets chased here. So OP Chinese coming inside, and Force uses Gust the second he comes to actually help his teammate out. There is the healing Samtu, might be able to heal Mio a little bit here. The flowers bombarding Colorize as he is dropping a little bit of HP. However, holding him on top of the Mighty Cleave and the Ember Storm, a lot of damage falls into the
It's not enough.
5% HP. Puts, however, Eternal Fox cannot use his Siege Shroud as he is in a vulnerable, has a vulnerability debuff coming in on himself, and Eternal Fox being extremely low. Mio to the rescue once again with the time distortion will be refreshing some of those heals, and Petal Stone for Eternal Fox might be able to get some HP back here. However, he does not have a lot, and it's gonna be Cymex coming in. This time both, I think, summoners are running that elf build, the standard build for both of them. Cymex already forced to use his escape here. Grasping Root doesn't do much for both of them, and it's gonna be some interference coming from the side of both players.
Bill is just
taking the damage from both of these teams, from both of the opponents here.
Colorize is back in.
And tries to find that guard break once again, but there is actually it's an OP Chinese popping that the Destroyer G here, but not doing much in his favor. Popping the Persistence aggressively as he will be using the Red Spin. Both have their resistance now. So OP Chinese probably his 5% HP, and
no, Colorize is deflected!
But he takes down with the Typhoon! So OP Chinese 3% HP, and he will be going down, securing Updog's first kill here. Brother Bill is going to be the next in line to be facing off against Eternal Fox here, who is kind of bombarding him with those Sunflowers. However, I believe that Brother Bill is running the defensive Typhoon here, facing off against a Summoner and a Warlock here. The Pounce is good and actually manages to fire on top of. However, Gigablade will be able to finish off Eternal Fox here as Mio comes in with full HP. However, he will have to, as you said before, pull a miracle, a biblical proportions. There's a Lich with the onrush. Colorize once again, saving Brother Bill for the 4th time, I believe, in this match. Can always trust your teammate to come and save you. This is how teamwork works. This Bastion will be keeping Mio safe a bit.
There's the lightning roar. Can't target him, but he does get some damage off.
And actually, Mio hitting into deflect. Well, with those rolling typhoons, actually still managing to find some damage. Imprison forcing the reflex roll from the side of Brother Bill, and actually it doesn't look good for Mio as I think he will. There's a 5-point strike, but the gravity will somewhat cancels Brother Bill's damage here, kind of anticlimactic.
Backstep ankle bite
This is good, and Bastion will be popped. Both players have their bubbles going on here, and there's a Tether Blade. No leech available for Mio here, and can't find a proper answer. Lightning go, finish him off. Brother Bill securing themselves another 2 points, and that is Updog's place. Facing off against the bigger teams. Let's see if we'll know who is going to be facing off against them, whether it's going to be Bad Intentions.
That was good. I was very well played from the side of Updog, especially. Colorized coming into his zone. This is exactly how he proved himself in the regionals last year, where he comes in and he protects you so flawlessly. You don't think that, okay, there's no way this guy can come in and save me, you think. But Colorize is like, I got you, fam. Don't worry. I got you. And he comes in every time. Perfect timing. Just before the big burst happens. And he enables you to then do the most damage you possibly can. Bill, as well, was just dancing around his opponents. There wasn't really that much for Cymex to do. He didn't really need to do that much after all. Updog, of course, moving up a little bit. We'll see who will be fighting them a little bit later on.
And it's to be decided as Bad Intentions or Ball Cube Fanclub will be facing off. And the team that actually loses will be fighting against Team Updog. And then we will have our 2 representatives of the European region. Both of these teams are really good. All of these teams are really good. Ball Cute Fanclub and Bad Intentions are really good players, and I really want to see the Zappish plays here. As I said before, he could be an incredibly entertaining player to watch, as well as KFMs are in general. However, it's never an easy time for any KFM to face any one of these classes individually. He does have his teammates here who are obviously gonna be having his back here, but I think he might be somewhat of an important factor for his team's sakes, that is.
I like the way that Zappish plays because he is one of the most efficient players I think I've ever witnessed. Everything and anything that he does, he will do his utmost to make it work in his favor. If he misses, if it's misplaced, if he gets unlucky with something, he'll still try his utmost to make it work in his favor, and he won't hesitate to do so as well, which many people don't do. He doesn't get hung up on his mistakes. He keeps plowing on, and that's why we get to see him pull off such ridiculous things as we saw yesterday when he was against the Summoner, and he just obliterated him with the PvE version of Searing Palm, stacking all the way up to 4 times, 100%.
Killing the cat. I remember that. That was actually really, really cool. I think I said before that Zappish felt like he missed his tremor in a way, but not really. Maybe he did, but it doesn't matter at the end because he's so good. All calculated, exactly. Having that Searing Palm, stocking it up as fast as possible. You can imagine the cat feeling like just another mob for Zappish to just pound away as he is basically picking up a quest item or something just to be able to go and kill the summoner.
He will be against Ryuki first, which historically has been a pretty interesting matchup. We'll see how he
So it's gonna be Ryuki representing the team of Bad Intention facing off against Zappish here. Already managing to find that flurry. Well, holding on to that Searing Palm is being placed, and there is actually the
so perfectly right.
Playing it indeed perfectly, does manage to find the Tremor iframe in the nick of time. Gelfis is actually specced here, and not being able to land it on Ryuki just yet, as Ryuki knows that second win is available for him. A good triple kick might be
He
devastating.
does get it! Oh no, he's... Could be it. This
And
is this.
combo is there, knowing that he has
Rising
to fight
Dragon.
them. A lot of damage coming over.
Oh,
Ryuki
just not
dropping
enough.
pretty low. Fine
flying
Sam
slam.
gets type
He
him, but
baits
the
it
counter is good. And
Yes!
there-
Oh my
Selpy,
god!
impeccable, as you said before. One of the most creative KFMs, as well as the most perfectly thought out in almost all of these matches.
Legendary status, lest ye forget.
Yes, of course. The number one KFM in the world, still holding a title since 2017 in Korea. What do you expect?
He made it look so damn easy. That was just the most perfect start, just imaginable there. When Ryuki placed his flower down, he knew, okay, I need to try and bait this out as best I can, while also protecting myself. It's risky for Ryuki to try and use his escape when Zappish is under the effect of Ice Guard, because then he won't be affected by it. And it's probably... he probably decided that it's too risky to attempt to use a crowd control ability as the ice is fading. So he had to wait. He waited for the Searing Palm to be transformed into a stun by Zappish's many hits. He used his flower, but Zappish didn't have any of that. He went right back in with the tremor, forced out the stealth from Ryuki, and just obliterated him from there. There's so many good things to say.
It's already like having a mirror match above the wall axis. Tenna will be facing off against Arias, and a quick Tether Blade already forcing Arias' second win here. Trying to find that Flower Summon. Can't even find the Flower Summon.
Is
The
this
reach
the
connects.
quickest
This
game today?
Arias going down here. It is Arias going down here, and a little bit of an unlucky opener, as this was officially the fastest match we had in this tournament. I believe it was 6 seconds or something like that when just well, I believe Arias's reaction is basically like, what happened? I don't know. Tether Blade connecting, and you know he needs to summon the flower. He knows he needs to summon the flower. Having his second win already being popped by the Tether Blade, he needs the flower. No void work, no time distortion. What is he supposed to do? And just Tenna not having any of that, telling him, no, you're not summoning your flower, finishing it off with those Dragon Helix, and what a game.
I'm fairly certain what Tenna just did violates the terms of service. So that was what? Blink and you miss it. Warlock mirrors coming to you for 6 seconds exactly. That was a very unfortunate start for Arias, of course. Because he didn't have the Thrall first, he didn't have it summoned, and Tenna had he knew that essentially he could start one of two ways. And I believe that this is the way that the second way is the way that Arias chose to start, or wanted to try to start, where both Warlocks spawn in and summon their Thralls immediately, as like a safety net. Because then, even if you do waste your second wind, even if you do waste your Void Walk, you do still have the time distortion to fall back on and instantly refresh your cooldowns at least once. So, Tenna wasn't having any of that. He decided, no, I'm gonna Tether Blade you like instantly, and you're gonna second wind, and then I'm gonna catch you with Imprison, and then you're gonna die.
That was
seconds.
Very, very unfortunate on the side of Arias. As you could potentially start with Bastion, you could potentially have somewhat of a more safe, but somewhat very risky opener, as you won't be able to have some of those cooldowns. But both of these players need to know to reserve the resources. However, this was still the case for Tenna. However, he just popped that Tether Blade, hitting Arias. I believe Arias' instinct was that he knows that it's enough time for Tenna to summon his Thrall anyway. So using your second win is just common sense in this situation.
But he did. What a shame. But on to the 3 versus 3 now.
It's gonna be Tena opening up against Arias once again. I believe that the Tether Blade won't be connecting this time. No. Tena.
We learned from that critical error.
Lesson here on the side of Volcat Fanclub here is Bastion will be popped. Both players putting their Sanctum down. The Wingstone dealing some damage. Actually, the Gravity will sort of pushing both players inside each other, and Time Distortion will be popped. And Imprison actually lands first on the side of Arias here. The underside of Tena here.
Reflective mirror match I've ever seen.
The Soul Check, however, does connect.
Back at him now.
And there is Mr. B to the rescue with those. With that shift. Actually, air combos for.
Oh no, not again, not like this.
Teammate Tether Blade does connect.
Tag out!
Okay.
Tag out now! Don't risk it! Doesn't matter that he's 50 meters away from you, don't risk it, come on!
Both players have their leash available and both players have their Void Walk. However, Tena is in somewhat of an advantage here. Soul Shackle does connect and doesn't do much on Arias. And there is no
he gets
leash on double
by the
barrel.
leash.
Arias might be in trouble. The Melson won't be able to save Arias as he decides to stay inside. This might be a little bit of a bad decision on his behalf. However, Arias wants to play it, wants to prove who is the superior Warlock, I believe.
Don't let your emotions get in the way of your team. Pieb already having to save him once.
Sanctum will be placed in the backstab already being used. Tether Blade will be connecting here, and Mr. B with another shift here. Maybe not exactly what Bad Intentions would want. However, it's gonna be another rematch up coming in here, and the Flurry. This is Deja Vu like in match 1 here. As Sirin Pump, this is Deja Vu.
This is exactly the same. What is happening?
There is their combo coming in from the side of Bad Intentions, dropping Ryuki pretty low here. Zappish.
It's not a glitch in the Matrix. Ah, the ice bomb there. The iframe from Avenging Fist. Not quite long enough to help him from that one.
Smoke screen will be placed, and still having his power available. Ryuki won't be messing up a combo like that, obviously. There is the Spinal Tap actually forcing Zappish second win here, and the Time Distortion unequalizing the match a little bit. As always, it's gonna be Pieb facing off against Ryuki, who already has
that instant 5 point. It's such a dangerous ability.
Arias coming in, trying to deal some damage as Mr. B will be forced to use his last shift of this match. So far, no more shifts available for Yuki or Tena here. No, does connect. Yuki's second stealth once again, but bomb out with a close shave. I believe it was a close shave. Ice bomb will be placed, and Pieb might be in a little bit of trouble as he does walk away from that ice bomb here. Mr. B will be inside, and it's gonna be him facing off against Arias. It does manages to find that Tether Blade. The Typhoon is good with the knockback, and it's gonna be a blue buff pop on the side of Ryuki. However, a quick switch into Zappish, I believe,
saved his life.
Yes, it is gonna be a Kefin versus match. Kefin versus Destroyer matchup. A very big fan. There's the Ember Storm being placed. Zappish might be in a little bit of a trouble here. Does manage to find the backstab, and actually
there's the smite I mentioned earlier. Oh, he's got his ultimate!
Up. Will we see the 8 talons coming on here?
I really hope so. It looks so goddamn cool.
As Mr. B try, there it is, the 8 talons will be used, and actually Mr. B panics out into Tenas, who gets chased down by the enemy team here as Basha will be popped as Arias. Wait, Tena,
he gets cancelled out of it by the repulse. Arias saves this Brawl from imminent death.
Yes, it is indeed. The Gravity will kind of be in a nuisance on his side. Leech on top of Ball and Tena will take him out down here as Ryuki is gonna be switched in after Tena does retire from this match at this point.
Retired. It's a nice way of putting death.
Well, it is. It's gonna be Ryuki versus Zappish again. I believe Zappish is feeling a little dominant in this matchup at the moment. However,
Ryuki, the events unfolding right now, he's completely okay with this.
webbing and the Bumble with the poison breath. Ryuki knowing the reaction of his enemy, the fluid does connect, and there is the narcotic change. Will it be enough to finish him off?
Yes, it is.
And it's gonna be Mr. B, the last man standing, not taking full advantage of Mr. B as the 8
Oh, he catches him with that. Very timely save there.
Eye of the Storm will be used. Mr. B will have to pull. This is almost exactly like last year versus Team XCDD, as Mr. B was the last man standing here. Maybe he can just make it out here. Again, a Fire Sam not connecting. Does manage to find the grapple in mid-post. Will be allowing Zappish to stay alive here, as he needs to find the CC. There is the Rising Tiger with the knee. Actually, second win still available, not available anymore on the side of Zappish. The Blitz is there as Stone Chill is coming through with the grab. And actually,
he misses the grab.
The grab, that is really unfortunate on the side of Mr. B here, as he probably mistimed his Rams.
He attacks into a ground counter, messes up that combination, but the Firestone kick is there.
Will be up, does manages to find the knockdown, and will he be able to finish off Zappish? I do believe in this 5 seconds. He has to pull somewhat of a quick burst, does manages to find 2 RMBs, and that will be more than enough to finish him off. The 5-point strike is good, and actually Mr. B has
such a bad spot. Oh, we managed to avoid the Phantom grab. That would have been death.
Yeah, waiting patiently. All he needs to find is one single.
There it is.
There it is, a lightning throw, and yeah, Ball Cute Fan Club securing the first win of the series, okay? In this entire tournament versus Team Bad Intentions. This is the first time Bad Intentions is losing in this tournament, and that is actually a very nice thing to see. Even though I do like the team of Bad Intentions, it's nice. Well, you don't need to cry, Barney. It's just
that was so intense. Worked up a little bit of a sweat over that. Goodness me, Ball Cute Fan Club. Legendary contest, by the way.
Indeed, that 8 talents. I believe that 8 talents might have been the shifting point in that match, just completely given Team Ballcute the full advantage of that match.
That was just, everything went their way. The super timely ultimate from Zappish. Mr. B didn't. It was very evident that he didn't quite understand how to react to that one, so he instantly tagged out into Tenor, who took the brunt of the final hit and was like, "Oh, well, there's half my health gone." But the synergy that they did as well with the Warlock ultimate from Areas, Zappish patiently waiting until the absolute last moment for him to extend the aerial duration on Ryuki to
finish him off with another exchange. I believe Tenna had his heart in the right place, trying to balance Arias's fall with the narcotic chains, but the repulse timing, that is just just saving the Fall's life there, and it's gonna be Mr. B facing off against PM on this Destroyer versus BD matchup. Bad Intentions this does not look good for Bad Intentions. They are down a few points here. It's
the extended set, so they do still have quite a few opportunities to get back at them.
Ember Storm will be used, as I believe already Phantom Grab was used on the side of Pieb, so no real answer to that. The smash is good, and holding on to that second win for a while, being very patient, as Mr. B is not gonna let you get out from that, knowing that the second win is about to be coming in just a second. Phantom Grab does connect, still having both his escapes available. Mr. B looking quite confident in the smash so far. The lightning throw is there, however, not quite landing on top of Mr. B with that gust, which is kind of a shame on his behalf.
Oh, he forgot about the Scorching Strike.
However, ground counter, this could be bad. Force uses persistence, the timing on these.
Abysmal. Would he avoid the Soaring Falcon with that timely ram?
The Ember Stomp is there, misses the X-Sweep, and actually Pieb has not a lot of focus available on him, and I don't know if he'll be able to do anything versus
that
Mr.
Soaring Falcon was so critical for him to hit. But he doesn't get it
once again. Actually, he decides to power dive here. Typhoon is good. Framing that Soaring Falcon, as it is a knockdown that is almost unavoidable here. Mr. B feeling like Pieb a minute ago.
5-point strike. He's just on every Blade Dancer today. People keep forgetting about that skill and how fast it is.
It is a follow-up, and it's gonna be Pierre forced to use his second win here. No escape
he's
of
dancing so perfect.
Persistence is almost up on the side.
7 seconds.
And
He
there's
gets
the
the
lightning
lightning
roll.
roll. This is going to be
Going down, Mr. B
close.
dying, and persistence is just up for him. Would be used aggressively here.
3% he
Yeah, it
turns
is.
around.
I believe it's gonna be match for Mr. B here, as he does manages to find that Ember Stomp with Mighty Cleaves on Pierre. That was incredibly close, as even though persistence came up, Pierre just couldn't finish him off. Didn't have his lightning roll damage coming all the way in his favor. That is a little bit of unfortunate in in regards to crit chance still being somewhat of a factor in Arena. And I believe
single salty tear was shed this day. 3%. 3%. I would be angry. I have secondhand anger from seeing that. When the match is stolen away from you by RNGesus, how dare you? But
well,
full advantage of that, turned it around, and then decided to kind of do a little shimmy on Pieb's corpse there, as one does.
I mean, the combo with Mighty Cleave and Ember Stomp in Arena, in these particular patches, having a little bit lower HP, this is substantial. And in my head, I keep thinking about Mighty Cleave being somewhat of more of a bonus damage, but in this situation, it's still very useful. There is a change actually coming in Korea, I believe, that makes Mighty Cleave be the same damage. Instead of over 8 seconds, it's going to be over 4 seconds, being a lot more scary. You can understand how that could be incredibly. As we will be going to our fourth match of this series, I believe, as Mr. B actually running that Fury versus Aries. This is going to be an interesting match already. Backstab being used on the side of Aries. This is a pretty standard build for him, I believe, as he will be able to bust down the floor if given the opportunity. There is the shift coming in from the side of Mr. B here. Aggressively. There is a time distortion. Mighty Cleave actually exited the Mighty Cleave and going ham for the Fral, taking a lot of damage with those wings from deflects on top of Aries here. As the Fral is still outbreak is good, and well, with the Void Walk actually Aries might be safe here in prison, not connecting. Could be very, very bad as he gets air launch with the Scorching Strike. Mighty Cleave again.
Ooh,
there is a power dive. I don't believe a get-up animation is available on the side of Aries, who is gonna open some distance here as Mr. B is using that Shift Stone Shield, healing them quite a bit here. Bastion will be used, and Wingstone branding Mr. B here. Not a lot of approaching skill, and Fury actually allowing him to engage once again. However, Fury also backfire as he is incredibly squishy when it comes to the defensive points, as of course Fury
he gets him with the drag, misses the textures, but gets the card break anyways.
And under only one right click will be even enough. There it is, Mr. B finishing up in style, equalizing the points. His bad intention. Qualifier Fanclub will be holding on 3 points, both of the teams. That is quite a comeback.
Now it has been equalized.
Now it is. And I believe that the next match will be another 3 versus 3 tag match, and this could be a very, very crucial set match, as both of the players have 3 points. Another match won't be enough to actually guarantee the win. And as we saw before, Bolcut's Fanclub, their 3 versus 3 synergy was amazing in the first set. Bad Intentions will have to step up their game, even though I know their synergy is there. We did see it in day one. We need to see it again. We need Bad Intentions to be able to pull off what they did in day one, with just Mr. B and Ryuki playing their CCs perfectly, and Tena coming in with that time distortion on time, and having so much things going around it together, and just we'll have to see if we're gonna be seeing that today.
Hopefully in the 3 versus 3 coming up they won't have the situation where they have unused tag assists. Tenna died actually with 2 assists left in on him. That's very, very suboptimal for your team. You don't really want to be put in that situation really ever. However, Mr. B, perhaps being the true hero at the moment of the team of bad intentions, he held out the longest in the tags. He got both the wins just now in very spectacular fashion. Perhaps a good way of saying it was Super Saiyan activated. Falls below a certain threshold, and he's just like insane rage comes out. So
yeah,
we will be going in now.
that is the perks of the Fury indeed. Rage is the best way to describe Fury, as we will be going to a 5th match of the set. Yeah, the 5th match of the set, I believe. It's gonna be Tenna versus Arias once again, opening a very standard thing, as Tetherblade does connect Arias. Given Tenna a little bit of his medicine here, a taste of his own medicine, as both players will be trying to pop that Sanctum, but Tenna says no. There it is. The Sanctum will be placed and no targets are available. However, Ryuki comes in with the Fighting Spirit, trying to deal some more damage, and Arias to stun the social will reset some of these cooldowns.
Arias' Brawl just got burst down.
Well, we're gonna see how this one goes. It's in prison. Does connect on Arias. The Soul Shackle dropping Arias very low here, 30% HP, as no Void Walk will be available. Zapish almost getting chased here, as he does manage to find the triple kick, and there is a leech with the Terrorblade, followed by a random Mr. B. Oh, Mr. B, that is. Zapish forced to actually tag out, as Pierre will be the next one coming in. The last match between both of them, these players, was incredibly close. As Soren Frankel does connect, will be refreshing some focus on the side of Pierre here.
That was very, very cool. He cancelled the 5-point strike animation to spin and resist the daze from the gust of Mr. B. Now he's got him in the Phantom Grab.
The Phantom Grab is there, and actually restraint skills could be used here, as Ryuki coming in with that decoy saving his teammate persistence being popped here. Force on the side of Pierre, who is playing very patiently around the aggression coming in from the side of Mr. B, as Emberstone will keep him out of harm's way, as his gust is almost about to come off of cooldown. Wow. Pierre maybe he's gonna find another surprising 5-point sign. I know it's coming. We all know it's coming. Shift will be used on the side of Mr. B. And there it is, as I said, predicted. The Dragon Helix doing a lot of damage, as Time Distortion will be used on the side of Arias here, refreshing Pieb's cooldown once again. Looking very strong here. And 5-point strike will be available once again. And Mr. B probably... there it is, the chase is good. And these 5-point strikes just being on point today, untouchable, as Pierre will be forced to use his second win, as Tenna is coming in. Here,
Zap is getting really hurt here. He's in a bad spot.
The landman is still there, and he has no escape available.
Gets
knocked down, and there is the aggression coming in from the side of Just That Intention. Selfish in the nick of time switches out, as stealth will be used on the Ryuki's here. The Bombard close shave dealing some damage, trying to find the Rising Tiger, not quite able to land that, and the Leech with the Fighting Spirit, followed by Tremor, dealing some pretty decent damage on the team Bad Intentions here, as Smoke Screen will be used and the Enhanced Decoy will be popped. Tenna with 100% HP coming back in, looking pretty healthy. And well, there is the Embrace-In, the untoppable Leech Air Combo is landing on Arias. Pierre coming in to the rescue with that Maelstrom, will be HM blocking his teammate here, as well, Tenna sitting in his Sanctum, very happy being on 100% HP here, still holding on to that. Time the social will be popped on the side of Tenna here. No chase coming in on top of Pierre, as in prison with Dragon Hill is kind of dealing some damage. Not much though, no gap closes available for Pierre here, as Bastion will be used. Still a lot of damage coming in with those Dragon, not a lot of damage, but some damage coming in from those Dragon Helix. The Soul and Falcon not quite landing, is still getting PvE'd here. You have no problem with that, I believe.
Storm him, you know you want to.
I
No,
believe
5
it's
strike.
Tena's ultimate available here right now, as the raid doesn't quite land here, and the Tether Blade does get iframe world with the Maelstone. The Soul
There's the
Falcon
lightning.
top of the lightning draw, and Tena kind of sunbathing under the lightning draw, taking a little bit of damage here. It's Bastion with there is a narcotic chains, but I believe the distance here is opening from here. I think
Good usage of that one. We've seen it used once successfully by areas, I think, so far.
I believe Tena used that this intimidation tool, as he does not have his escape available and he's almost timed out. Pieb, decides not to take this fight, I believe. Well, maybe he will. The Soul Shackles, Guardian Tempest will be popped in. It's gonna be Ryuki coming in here, placing his flower already and opening the distances. The Lotus Fury will be the resist of choice. Despite 5 months like that. And again on the side of Pieb here. Just,
oh my!
that's amazing. The Typhoon is there coming in from the side of Mr. B. Zapish inside. There is the ultimate coming in. Finishing him off, and the Imprison is there. Landing, however, no will follow-up coming in from the side of Arias, and Ryuki has no escape available, will be air launched, no interference available on the side of Team Bad Intention, as he will be going down. It will be, as Arias is inside, and Mr. B gonna be facing off against him. Trying to find that ram, not quite landing, as Sanctum will be placed on the side of Arias here. Opening a little.
Though the legend may be down, his spirit lives on.
And there is a drag being able to land on Arias in a perfect timing here. I believe Arias, well, he will be forced to use his second win here. Not exactly the optimal thing for him, as he will be getting pushed by Tena and Mr. B, and will be going down. It's gonna be Pieb trying to find a Sorin Falcon as he comes in, not quite finding that, as Blitz will be almost connecting. Ram does land on Pieb and managing to actually find that power slam. Flock of Blades was not used on time on the side of Pieb, and basically power slam regenerating a lot of focus. Resistance will be popped aggressively, as Mr. B trying to find a little bit more damage with that Typhoon. Blitz not landing in time here. Does manages to find that knee, and the Ram not being placed in time. It's gonna be Tena facing off against Pieb now. Last man standing. Can Pieb do something? There is a Giga Blade in the Sanctum, finishing him off, and it's gonna be a 1 versus 1. And Pieb will be facing off against Mr. B for that important tag match point, as Ram not connecting and Smash not connecting. Phantom Grab does land, and no persistence available just yet on the side of Mr. B here. Gust still available and not facing Pieb, who is holding on to that second win still for a long time here.
This could be it. Okay.
Sorry, Falco does land just... No, the Guardian Tempest actually been able to restore important focus to Pieb. Ram does connect, and there is the power drive with the upward block coming in from the side of Mr. B.
Oh, he's going for the iframe dual strike this time. He wants to be extra safe. But he catches him between the spins.
Just gets iframe in the nick of time. Shift will be using almost both of Mr. B's escapes are almost up here.
There it is.
I don't believe this is what Pieb potentially wants here. The Ram does land with the smash, returning some focus.
Phantom grabs there. Gust is available.
What we see, well, the raid is they're trying to do some, wind style DPS here. Guardian Tempest is
Knock
there,
down
and there's
the
the fight.
He cancels it again to resist the gust. Mr. B.
Yeah, but Mr. B has no escapes. This could be incredibly bad for him, trying to open the distance as he did before. But will it be able? Will it be enough to actually keep him safe from the mercy?
One Phantom grab is all he needs.
And actually, mistime it. The shift will be popped, and this is again returning to that point. I believe Pieb still has his escape available, and he just needs to find one CC and another frame coming in from Mr. B.
The knockdown, the lightning throw!
Gust available, has his gust available just now. Trying to find an opening, but can't quite find it.
Strike avoids the drag. This is so intense. Little over a minute left.
Pieb still has his second win available, and persistence almost up on the side of Mr. B.
There's the random smash.
Playing it
No
safe.
Ember Stomp.
He
The
does
knee.
need them. Here is the second win coming in from the side of Mr. B here.
There it is. If he
Can't
keeps him in
use
knockdown,
persistent.
he could end it.
Is the lightning roll gonna be enough to finish him off? No, he's trying to find that 5-point strike. And Mr. B's ultimate is up.
Gust
Use
is back.
it could be enough to finish him off. There is the
There it is.
Typhoon. There is
Drag
Drag
No,
doesn't.
the
Their
raise,
combo is
no.
there, and it might be
The
enough.
lightning was gonna
The
finish
light
him
throw
off.
is available for Pierre.
It will.
It's gonna be Team Ball Cute Fan Club finishing off Team Bad Intentions. What a match! I believe Pierre deserved the title of the absolute MVP of this match. Just what a match! What a match! That Giga Blade into Sanctum. Tenna couldn't see it. Like, couldn't even. You can't fathom something like this happening. Just deciding, I'm gonna use my ultimate, and pops Tenna away. I believe
Yes. Yeah.
Elias is completely shocked by the outcome of this match, as I believe it is 2 points that are actually gonna be going to Team.
They win. They win.
Oh,
They win
actually,
this set.
3
Pierre
points.
actually carried them.
Well, Pierre, that was absolutely amazing. I believe that at the moment, as we still don't know who's the best, I believe the answer is not exactly clear. It's either Brother Bill or Pierre, but judging by this game, this is world level Blade Dancer, and hopefully we'll get to see a lot more about that in the future.
I was wrong. I'm sorry. I said that there was only one truly legendary person on the team of Bulky Fan Club. I apologize, Pierre. Please forgive me for not acknowledging what god tier level plays you can actually make. Woo.
Well, for Team Bad Intention, this is obviously not a good thing that happened right now. They still have a chance, as they will need to actually secure both upcoming matches, and that actually means that 2 3 versus 3 matches in a row against this incredibly devastating team of Ball Cute Fan Club. They
Absolutely.
Well, if Pierre is gonna keep playing like this, I cannot see how Bad Intentions are gonna be winning this series. They just can't. It's not gonna happen. Pierre is playing extraordinarily here, to the point where I believe this would be Korean War V level. Okay, Korean War V level.
Absolutely.
Even maybe more than that. World level Blade Dancer players right there.
Well, he certainly has shown himself to be just absolutely impeccable. But we do have the next match coming up. It would certainly be a bit of an upset if Bad Intentions doesn't make it through to the final 2 teams. But what are your opinions on this?
I believe that maybe utilizing Mr. B just a little bit more. It's really hard because in this composition, you have to utilize the shift in a defensive manner. If Mr. B is inside, he can't save his teammates. He can't save himself. He could use the shift. If he gets caught, he can't use it for his own sake. And all you have is Ryuki's decoy party protect. And once again, for the third time, we're going to have Tenna versus Arias opening up here for the 3 versus 3 in prison already landing. However, no Lich coming in from Tenna, and that might have been a missed opportunity, as already Arias is taking a lot of damage. Time distortion coming on from both of these players. Sanctum actually keeping the target in a bit of a problematic issue, as both players...
Reflective mirror.
Indeed it is. And there is the repulse coming in, being able to iframe some of that, but leeching the Thrall, that is a crucial mistake coming in from Tenna. The targeting always with the hitbox of that. Fighting Spirit will be popped on the side of Ryuki here, trying to find something. I believe that was Zappish, my apologies, as Fighting Spirit was used, both players opening some
areas here. However, Tenna does have no escapes now. He gets caught out. This could be pretty much over. He does get stunned, but he doesn't get launched. Yeah,
their launch isn't there, and Arias looking for that Tenna kill, as Bastions will be popped from both players here. Finding that answer. calling for the foul. There is a leech air combo, but not quite timing it correctly as Mr. B to the rescue coming in with Typhoon, kicking him out of that Sangre, but well, rolling in back to that, of course, facing his character with the back to that Typhoon. A very, very fast reaction on the side of Aries here, as it's gonna be, I believe, the timer that is gonna dictate what's gonna happen here, as both players are almost timed out. We will be seeing who is gonna be switched out in here, and well, Bastion's gonna heal both of them a bit. It's gonna be Zapish versus Ryuki once again. Hopefully we're gonna be seeing another one of those 8 ounces. It's incredibly fun to watch. Very scary as well.
Should be noted that Mr. B only has 1 assist remaining. Very crucial there. We'll see how it goes. The flurry instantly opening up.
And with the Dragon Heal is a lot of damage coming in. On top of Ryuki here, who will have his teammates save him once again. The wall bank happening a little bit there, as second win is available for Zapish and Ryuki.
Oh, the Rising Dragon
that escaped away, and it's gonna be the MVP coming in with those 5-point strike. Taking a reflex roll and taking a flower from Ryuki here, as Ryuki does manage to find the stealth. The combo is there, launching him into the air. The flower is down, and Ryuki will be getting that very
cooldowns back.
Resets cooldown, as he does manage to find the chase on Zapish, who still has no escape available. That is a very, very
get out of there, but his tag is going to be on cooldown.
As Zapish can't actually tag out just yet, as he was the next player in the registration. Of course, 8% HP, does manage to find the flurry. And actually a very unusual from the side of Ryuki. Does manage to find that girl sweeping kick here, and actually launching him into the air. Zapish will be going down, and it's Team Ballcuts might be in trouble here. Pieb might have to pull another Pieb here in this match to be able to make a difference, as it's going to be only Aries and Pieb, 2 last standing on the side of Ballcute Fanclub, as Typhoon will be used. The guard break
he's baited out, but he still has to use his
no Void Walk available on the side of Aries, and no second win, as Blitz does connect. There is a Fury! Trying to find that damage, but the Maelstrom keeping Aries alive just a little bit longer, as Mr. B running that very dangerous spec. However, high risk, high reward. It's always nice to see a Fury coming in, and of course, maybe charging his ultimate a little bit faster than the standard way, having that Fury available. Is a little bit of PvE damage coming on the side of Aries. His Stun Distortion will be up, extending their combo a little bit with that power drive, as Aries trying to find those resets. Was, I believe, able to only find 1. His ultimate is up, and Typhoon will be used, popping that shift. And there it is, Mr. B also using that Eye of the Storm, stunning up. However, the Leech is actually keeping him. I find the Fury will be popped on the side of Mr. B. Not exactly the build you would probably be wanting to run against BD here. And yeah, being very patient using that Flocker Blade, but Power Sam being able to be fast enough to keep Mr. B out of trouble, as Nelson will be using.
Grab also resisted, but he tags out anyway.
Gonna be swapping out to Tenna here, who probably might have an easier time. But he had 5-point strike with the lightning draw out of nowhere, dealing some damage onto Tenna, forcing his second win. But I believe trying to find that untappable Lich combo. There is the narcotic chain with the fighting spirit, not exactly landed. Pieb just being impossible blade dancer here. Does not want to be CC'd here. Always finds a way to, evade the damage coming in. But there is the Imprison with the Soul Shackle, dropping
so damage.
Percent HP, not being able to finish him off, as both escape are actually up on the side of Aries. However, Fall is down.
Oh, he's looking for the Giga Blade!
Trying to find that, but
it's still gonna happen this time.
It's gonna be Mr. B coming in. The 5-point strike, this I believe was the first 5-point strike not landing on the side of Pieb here.
Unlucky.
Unlucky, yeah. There's probably a bug in the game. If Pieb misses a 5-point strike, Fury is still the spec of choice coming in here from the side of Mr. B. So we're gonna see how he utilizes this one. As this isn't exactly always the optimal skill to be using, especially against a BD. And it's gonna be Arias gonna be switched out, trying to find the chase, but Arias
Mr. B gets deflected, and actually you forced to use his Gust there. There's Fury
being popped, and actually
disgusting
knockback Typhoon. There's the ultimate coming in from Ryuki with that knockback. Finishing off Arias as Pieb is the last man standing. Will have to try to find something here using that dual strike rifle and the tether blade, I believe. 5-point strike.
Another 5-point strike missing. I don't think this is going to be quite the same as the previous match. But we will have to wait to see. Have faith, viewers.
Second win. Well, Pierre will have to be able to. Yes, as much as full 3 health bars on the side of Team Bad Intentions. The time distortion was good for Tenna here. Very beneficial for him. Ryuki trying to find some damage. No real answer to the CC on the side of Pieb is, as I said before, being really hard to deal with. Pieb is incredibly evasive. It's gonna be Mr. B coming in with that aggressive
and
persist.
He has no escape.
There it is. It's gonna be Bad Intentions actually winning the seventh set of this match. The 7th match of the set. Oh.
They are now tied at 5 points each. Yeah, it unfortunately wasn't as intense as the previous match. However, we'll have to wait and see how it transpires further. There is still one more 3 versus 3.
Yes, and
this
this will
be tied.
Mm-hmm.
Win.
The team that wins this match, actually, the upcoming 3 versus 3, I believe, will be the team representing, one of the teams representing Europe in the Battle Brawl Qualifiers finals. You could say that the Battle Brawl Qualifiers is in a way kind of like a regionals, or well, what is your take on this? Do you think maybe this tournament is at the same scale as a regional tournament in a way?
Perhaps. The players that are present now, many of them were present for the regionals, and they definitely had a fantastic showing there. Mm-hmm. However, this is probably... I think this is less... This is still very competitive, but it's a much more uplifting sort of competition. Like, we are separating out... We are trying to discern who would be the best representation for Europe to go up against the North American teams. And they will likely be doing the same. And so trying to wean out the highest quality team that you could possibly get is the most beneficial way to go about it.
Now it is possible, Barney, that we might still have both of these teams representing Europe, as the team that loses in this set will be facing off against Team Updog for their shot at the region at the North American finals of the Battle Brawl. Sanctum will be placed by the side of Arias. Fighting Spirit already being used on the side of Ryuki here, trying to find a lot of damage with that bomb barrel actually coming here. As Tenna will be popping his time distortion. Both Warlocks, when their answer to each other is, I believe, actually, Arias getting the upper hand in this matchup, as he does manage to find the Terror Blade, he does manage to iPhone with the block, as well as Soulshock will ground break Arias here. Same with Imprison. Both players trying to find the opening. Still escape available on the side of Arias here, but a leech could be enough maybe to do some work, as the Unrush will land. Arias will be forced to use his second win here as well. Both Warlocks playing it very... They're putting their heads into this match. It's a lot more of a well-fought match. You could say kind of like a chess match here. Since both of these players are playing it very safe and trying to find that almost perfect opening against each other. And Tetherblade being iframed by the block. Bastion is good. Both of these players hitting with the Bastion. And Sanctum will be placed on the side of Tenna, and Arias says, I have none of that.
He does not want a repeat of the 3 versus 3 before last, where he just got obliterated by a Giga Blade in second flat. Now everything is much
There
more...
is the leech with the unstoppable air combo, however the timer is there, and actually Zapish getting chased here. The Maelstrom is good from Pieb's side to keep his teammate out of harm's way. His persistence will be used, and
oh, he actually gets his persistence off.
wow, Mr. B actually gets CC'd here, and Zapish taking a lot of aerial damage here. Will be forced to use the second win. Does manages to find the Searing Palm, however, it's gonna be Ryuki taking over as the weapon, as there with the Poison Breath. I believe he has no Party Protect. Pieb coming in has still no Maelstrom available, so basically just an intimidation method, as I said before, coming in to just kind of scare Ryuki away from that potential kill on top of Zapish. There is a time distortion, and I believe, well, I don't know what Ryuki will be benefiting from this, as he is
he got his defensive cooldowns back, and he got a little bit of a heal from Sanctum. This could be very good for him, putting him in a little bit of a more even playing field with Areas, who has literally no damage taken yet.
Indeed, and Sanctum will be placed. No target available. Actually, managing to item that onrush, that is actually really hard to do, as the targeting could be a little bit tricky at times. Time distortion will be used on the side of Areas. Will we see a high webbing coming in over here? Fighting Spirit will be popped, and that could be super dangerous for Ryuki. The quick shift coming in from the side of Mr. B, keeping Ryuki out of harm's way, as Ryuki trying to look for the opening. Gunplay with that RMB.
Yes, the leech doesn't follow up.
Landmine is there, and Turning Leaf with a Bombard, dealing a lot of damage onto Areas, who I believe have no teammates with
he's gonna go down.
The party protects were not there. This could be that point where Bad Intentions could be securing themselves a place in this representing us in the North America tournament.
Now, let's not count our chickens before they hatch, as the saying goes.
If someone can do it, it's no one else than Pierre. Their combo is there with the Soul Shackle, dealing a lot of damage. Will they take Pierre down? No, they can't. It's gonna be Zapish iframing that narcotic chains, as Time Distortion is good. The leech is there, but Fall is kind of still busy in his Time Distortion animation. And Onrush will be iframe, as it's gonna be Zapish. Ultimate is up. Can't use it, as Brand is still on him. Is trying to find the opening.
There's the Firestorm. Triple. My mistake.
Triple kick is there. Sanctum will be used.
Oh, he's going for it.
8 talents, however, the shift very calmly used on the side of side of Mr. B, who knows how this works at this point. Not so pressured as he was before. The Avenging Fist will Zapish out of that Eye of the Storm here. Searing Funk on the knockback, knock down, and the instant tech chase here. Mr. B knows a ground counter versus Zapish will never work in his favor, obviously. Trying to find that
very timely counter there.
Like, as Mr. B trying to get some focus back, and actually does manages to use Ram against a Flying Slam, misses that X whip. What a shame by him, as there is the cast being used. Persistence is the answer, using that Force Guard, as it's gonna be Kiev versus Ryuki with that famous 5-1 psych. Does manages to fight.
Oh, he's going for it, but it's
they're forcing the stealth out of Ryuki, as both of Ballcat members have no ultimates available anymore. Ryuki actually has his available. I believe this is the time for the ultimate. There it is. Iframe just at the nick of time, as Pieb, without the second win instantly used, would obviously die here. And there is the chase on top of
Ryuki. No, the disgusting wallbang.
The Typhoon is there, and it's gonna be Team Ballcat going down to Bad Intentions, who actually given Bad Intentions a run for this series. Wow, that was a slippery slope that happened to Team Ballcat, as I believe Bad Intentions are very, very experienced and eventually adapted to that playstyle of Team Ballcat. What is your take on this?
Well, that was certainly... I certainly think that they probably weren't expecting that much of a challenge. Especially near the beginning, where Bulcute actually had a slight point lead on them after the second 3 versus 3. But they did end up getting it back. They ended up at last showing why they are the crowd favorites, I believe. Why they are so adept at adapting. Now they have secured themselves a spot, so they are guaranteed to be one of the teams that will be heading over to the North American region to play off against the North American teams. The second team is yet to be decided, and before then we will have to have a set between Updog and Bulcute Fanclub, which
I believe seeing as how Bulcute Fanclub played in the start of this set against Team Bad Intentions, I believe that if they play at that same level, Team Updog will have a really hard time. But of course, Team Updog being a different team than Bad Intentions, there could be kind of a rock, paper, scissors effect going on here. You can't really know what's going to be the intention. In BNS, it's not always skill level difference. It's also a little bit of the classes and the synergy between the players, which I believe might dictate a different outcome than what might seem a little bit obvious at first.
Indeed. Certainly there are many classes that have many class interactions between one another that make it so that certain matches may be skewed in favor of another. We mentioned a little bit earlier, but didn't really elaborate on the Zapish versus Wookie. Although at this sort of high level, I think individual player skill does factor in quite a lot, there is still the underlying class interactions that do make the matchup more difficult or more easy, depending. Historically, Kung Fu Master has had a very hard time against assassins with no reliable way of getting them out of stealth once they're in it. And of course, with assassins having a second escape skill, not really making it that much easier. The matchup has gotten substantially better over time with the addition of Gale Fist, although Zapish today didn't really have too much success in landing it. It can be a very potent tool.
I believe that you have two players that really make a difference in this matchup. Well, you have Cymex, which I believe versus Arias, as Arias was incredibly useful for his teammates in these tag matches. However, even though they lost, I believe that it could have easily shifted in Bulcute's favor. And in this situation, it could mean that the summoner might be what breaks Bulcute Fanclub synergy a little bit. It's sometimes really hard to deal with a summoner of high quality. As I can say, obviously, that Cymex is of one. And I would really like to see some of those, like a play where the Warlock backsteps away from the summoner and just gets the impossible grasping route, just being stuck there with this camera, not being able to basically do anything. I believe Team Updog only lost once, and versus Team Bad Intentions, you can kind of say that both of these teams have somewhat of a similar level of skills or level of performance this evening.
Absolutely, especially because of the players involved and how one of the members in particular, Brother Bill, how he was present in the regionals, and it was a bit of an upset there when Team XDDDD won against Ugly Intentions. People weren't really expecting that, but one of the main contributors to that victory was in fact Brother Bill, and how just stunningly well he played. The jury is still out on who is the better blade dancer between him and Pieb. I think it's safe to say they're both very exceptional players. I think Pieb has certainly shown himself to be deserving of legendary stature. However, now that, in fact, one of the members that he defeated prior, Brother Bill that is now on his team in the form of Cymex, there's a very interesting dynamic between those two, I feel. And their teammates is great English me. Their teammates, or rather, as teammates, they are phenomenal. Have phenomenal synergy. They know exactly how to go in, and they know how to abuse everything at their disposal.
Yeah, I believe that is why both of them are Lin. You know, they're both rats, and both of the rats have a synergy of some sort. You know, but with all jokes aside, this isn't the only thing I'm looking at here. You are having in this matchup 4 spinner classes facing off against each other. No, I'm sorry. You have Brother Bill and PM, which played phenomenally this series, this whole tournament, and both of them with that Shiga Blade playing such an intimidating play style. You can't know where it's gonna come. The second you see that blue aura running around that Lin Blade dancer, you just, you know something really bad is gonna happen to your teammates one way or another. Well,
I
everyone
particularly liked Mr. B's reaction to that when he just started running away and was like, "Where's the tag button? Get me out of here!"
Yeah, that was actually very scary. You can't really know when the damage is gonna be put down on you. So everyone, we will be taking a short break before we're having our last set of today. Don't go anywhere. Grab a popcorn and be ready because these matches are gonna be insane. I can almost guarantee it. The winners of this match, this set, will dictate our second team that will be representing Europe against the North American teams, which you guys will be able to see in a few hours on the North American stream. And again, as I said, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I'm Hangetsu, and this is Barney signing off for this break. Hello and welcome back to this last part of the European Battle Ball qualifiers. As we saw before the break, it's going to be team, if I believe, Updog versus team Ball Cute. They will be facing off against each other in what would probably be one of the prime sets of this tournament. Both having such of the best players we saw, and I would not feel bad with not either of these players, either of these teams represent us in the North American finals of the Battle Brawl.
Absolutely. They definitely have just such great team members. They're great players. They know exactly what they're doing. Sure, they have some perhaps lulls in communication here and there where, you get tagged in again immediately after getting tagged out. Happens to all of us. It's fine. But they're also great people. Having met many of them personally, I can say that, having them there as well, being able to psych them up like old times, even though it was just one time, like old times, have them go at it with all their power. And all the teams shown today, we're seeing, so as not to forget, I also do want to shout out the amusement park for making it into the top 4. And although they were knocked out by Updog, I would have been completely fine with having them as well. However, that's in the past now. We currently have Ball Cute Fanclub and Updog, as you said, up against each other.
And I do believe that Ball Cut Fanclub have somewhat of, I would say, class advantage, at least in the 1v1s. Since almost doesn't matter how you place these players, perhaps maybe the Blade Dancer versus the Summoner matchup isn't exactly in Ball Cute Fanclub's favor, but it's far from being a counter pick of any choice, of any kind, at least. But it doesn't matter how you make it seems, you're going to be having somewhat of an advantage in the 1v1s, at least. At least that's what I feel. And in terms of the 3 versus 3, obviously, having one extra party protect could be very useful, or at least having somewhat of a lack in party protects actually on the side of Ball Cute. So that's even 2 party protects that you're missing. Having only Maelstrom being useful for you. That's kind of the problem I feel with Ball Cute's Fanclub's composition a little bit, as they have one escape, and it's one of their finest players, okay? Pieb, sort of forced to stay outside in the backlines to be able to be that defensive shield and save his teammates whenever they need it.
Well, they do, of course, have the Warlock assist, which is very, very good. Coming in with time distortion, being able to reset all of your core cooldowns, or at least most of them anyway. But
and it seems we're already... As I said, this is probably the 1 versus 1 who has it the least favorable in the side of Ball Cup Fanclub. Already light and draw. And Cymex, I believe, forced already to use his second win, and that is the answer coming in from the side of Pierre here as well.
He's going in on him now.
Damage coming in with a take flight. A lot of damage coming into Cymex. There is the lightning roll. The flash step is there, dropping Cymex to 28%.
He's still going for him. He's relentless, this man.
Is unreal, as the frontal block actually dealing some damage on top of Cymex. The Rolling Typhoon gets cancelled. Survival with just a slin of health. However, the lightning rod actually is proking that enhanced Siege Shroud. Very, very bad for...
Look at this damage.
As second win will be available once again on the side of Cymex here.
Get out of the cap hounds.
There is a true friend actually coming in, kind of opening the distance, and the heals of the summoners proving to be super useful in this matchup. No Maelstrom available for Piebes. I believe he will be popping the Guardian Tempest now. Second win will... Flock of Blades is down.
Oh no, he gets knocked out by the cat.
Could be very bad for Pieb here.
Oh! Goodness gracious.
Securing the first win for Team Updog versus Ball. That is sort of what I predicted, as I believe Cymex is mostly very comfortable against against Blade Dancer. It's really hard to deal with him.
Perhaps to be sure.
Perhaps he might have wanted to adapt to the Brother Bill's strategy of how to deal with some errors, which is basically not really try to CC them as much as try to DPS and go, and kind of chunk them down slowly.
Well, for sure, it was looking to be almost match point, but then Cymex, again, the crowd control duration didn't quite last long enough. Pieb didn't have any way to follow it up, and Cymex ended up surviving on a literal 1% before his Lily managed to heal him up just a little bit, enough to be able to survive long enough to turn the entire tables. And towards the end, as soon as he managed to get overflow, the sunflower damage is just insane, and he just melted Pieb.
This is another thing that was kind of unfortunate on the side of Pieb. After using Fun to grab and basically placing the debuff of the Lightning Rod on Cymex, he procced the enhanced Siege Route, and that was very unfortunate. Just giving a little bit of an extra damage boost for Cymex, and it looks like we're gonna have areas on the wall that will be facing off against Brother Bill here. And well, we're gonna see how this one turns out. Already knocked down with the Stolen Falcon. Areas already used his reflex roll here as waiting out and using that second wind just the nick of time. The Lightning Door is there, and well, holding on to his Void Walk, and Time Distortion already being used by Arias, who actually is standing too far to actually tech chase Brother Bill anymore. There's a dual spot surprising him with another iframe tool in his disposal as the Time Distortion is there, the untappable reach air combo, but actually he sort of messed it up. It was tappable, so you can't call it untappable here. No focus available on the side of Arias here. Could be bad for him as Lightning Rod chunking Arias just a little bit more and more, as second wind is still available on the side of Arias.
It's gonna hurt a lot.
There's the Lightning Rod, and no second wind available on the side of Arias. Yes, it is. And 5% HP. I believe this match is probably gonna be in the favor of Brother Bill, but maybe the Caster Curse will be taking effect here as
the Gravity Well saving his life.
The unrush,
but it won't be enough. He still gets the Ascend to finish him off.
Well, it's second point for Team Updog. So far, so good. It looks like they're very confident in this series, as this is kind of the opposite of what I said. No, it's actually, I think, exactly what I said. There is an advantage in the 1 versus 1s here. Well, there is actually 1 point for both Fanclub and Updog. This is incorrect, everyone. It's only Team Updog that has a point here, so that's kind of an error here. It will probably be fixed in the screen in just a moment. We will be having our first versus 3 match between both Fanclub and Team Updog. So what is your thoughts on this? I wonder.
Well, as I was saying before, having the Warlock in your, available to assist you with the Time Distortion means that you can stay in for longer. You can play a little bit more aggressively, trying to actually position yourself in a way that the days from your second wind will actually hit your opponent, forcing a tech chase. If you get the tech chase, you can get a lot of damage off. You can force their escape out, and then the Warlock comes in, refreshes your cooldowns. You're at a huge advantage if they decide to stay in, so you're almost forcing them to tag out by doing so.
Yes, indeed. And well, as we said, we have a few MVPs here, and Cymex in this tournament was on point. But what would you say would be the class that's gonna be the biggest factor in this match? Since, as we said before, Selpy was super important for bulk Cute before, but which one is it now?
I think probably the dynamic between the two Blade Dancers is going to be the most important. We've already seen Pierre perform at an incredible level. We've also seen Brother Bill perform at not quite an equal level just yet, but who knows? We might end up seeing, this might be the deciding thing that shows us who is the truly better Blade Dancer.
As Qualifiers will be the opening choice on the team side of Updog, will be facing off against Arias, and the air combo is already there. Color is taking a lot of damage here, but it's still the start of the match. Popping out that Stone Shield. A Leech could be devastating here, baiting out that Stone Shield and waiting out that shift very patiently. Areas here with the Sanctum. Well, DPSing him under the Ember Stomp, and Color has been pretty patient. Keeps knocking him back from the Sanctum. Oh no, you don't. No Sanctum for you. The Repulse keeping areas kind of out of harm's way. The Thrall expires, and this could be maybe a chance for Color Eyes to be a little bit more aggressive. Doesn't quite find an answer to Areas. However, Areas still has, well, now that he has his Fallout, that means Void Walk is available. Well, not popping that shift, in the guard break coming in from the side of Color Eyes here, who sits in his shift just a little bit. The Timer Social coming in, and Brother Bill making some intimidation and presence in this match. Still no escape available for Color Eyes, but not quite an answer for him, and does find that knockback finally in. It's gonna be the Cymex coming in with Typhoon combo, dropping Areas very low here, as the Soul Shackle will be guard breaking Color Eyes here, who will be forced to actually switch with Brother Bill in a terrible time. Brother Bill losing 2/3 of his HP here to just completely being chased. This is not exactly a fun matchup for him, as Pieb already forced to use the second win. Hits into different right now, it's coming forward, and Pieb dropping to 20% HP. Brother Bill, whew. Okay, and now that he said it, he remembered, wait, I'm not very skilled. BD, now I want to show everyone that I can be the best I can, as it seems Brother Bill does get stunned here. Some distance is being opened by both players. Actually, Brother Bill, no second win available. Good enough flying Sam. Maybe as Areas interfere coming in aggressively could be
the Phantom grab there.
Super good for him, as Sorin Falcon does connect. Well, both players kind of being a little bit well, hesitant to actually get close. Does manage to find a Tremor. There is a Siren Palm actually poking that shift, kind of unfortunate on the side of Zapish here. Will be second win. There is a second win coming in on the side of Brother Bill here, as it's gonna be Color Eyes, the player of choice, coming in here again versus Areas. Actually, I believe he has absolutely no focus here, so
this should be interesting for him. Oh, but he does get it all back with that backstep resist and the Scorching Strike as well, proc from it.
With the knee, oh, and actually uses the drag on top of the Thrall again. Pops persistence aggressive. Color Eyes is playing well aggressively in a pretty not standard way. As Gust will be used again, and the chase coming in here on Cymex, and pretty favorable matchup for him versus Areas here, as he does manage to find that intent.
Slam coming in. Oh, insane damage. He's gone for the Tremor damage and the Tiger Strike. Not able to. The Guardian
Tempest keeping Pieb safe here just for a little bit longer. The Ankle Biter does connect. Flock of Blades will actually be the defensive skill of choice, breaking him away from the cat grab coming in here, as Grasping Root is still there, sort of preventing Pieb from showing any aggression on Cymex here. Does manage to find the Phantom Gun. No second win available for Pieb here, as indeed, and second win still available for Pieb. Needs to manage his focus correctly, as this match could be bad. Spamming that spin actually.
Does get the Soaring Falcon, so I will ensure. Oh no, he actually gets stunned by the lunge.
That is really unfortunate, as Beacon will be actually disrupting his 5-point psych here. It's gonna be Zapish coming in here, will be facing off against Cymex
here. And slam avoids the Ankle Biter as well by initiating the aerial attack.
Down is there, and actually I believe he tried to use the Siren Palm. Just the switch was really unlucky. Players still second win, and Imprison coming in from Areas, but just
he gets deflected.
There is some narcotic chains rooting Brother Bill. Actually, the time of the interfere was expired and not allowing areas to actually finish off his opponent. And it's actually Cymex coming in here, but he still doesn't have his escape available.
Oh, bad tagging.
Bad choice coming in from the side of Updog, as Updog will be losing a member here, as Cymex will be going down. I believe that it's Brother Bill that didn't register fast enough here, and that is sort of unfortunate for him. And there's
But an overall interesting and somehow good trade after all. However, the restraint
coming in, Colorize will be going down. Brother Bill is the last man standing.
Desperation, Gigablade.
No, that's not desperation. That is basically showing off at this point. He has no reason to fear. And Spirit, it's gonna be the #1 world KFM title with that simple
Legendary Kung Fu Master coming in for the kill. Steal. How dare he? Kill Stealer. Report him.
And I believe it's Team it's Team Bulkyut that actually equalized this match against the series versus Updog, finally giving in some of that very well-deserved points. The thing is, as I said, the individual 1v1, so it's mostly in Updog's favor, and seeing as 1v1s aren't the majority of points here, they need to, win some 3 versus 3s as well. It's not going to be enough for them to be able to have that extra point coming in from the 1v1s.
Indeed. As you say, their 1 versus 1 potential is almost certainly better, unless, of course, maybe the one that could be the exception is Zappish. I think that he is also quite good in the 1 versus 1s against all of their classes, actually. However, the 3 versus 3 is worth more points, and it is more intense. And if you get caught in such positions where you cue the wrong player to be next, you don't react quickly enough to what's occurring. Cymex got blown up attempting to help his teammate, but instead was actually tagged in forcefully by his teammate tagging out. And so with that death almost immediate, no way to say... The enhanced C-Trad was one of the main ways to save his teammate, and then the restraint grab comes out. Colorize just
that is just something you don't really see too often in high-low, as it's gonna be Zappish and the KFM will be facing off against Colorize. And well, to be honest, I can't really see how Colorize will win this match. He will have to pull a hat out of his...
Oh, he snipes in mid-air with the Comet
With the Comet Strike. That is
legendary KFM, by the way.
Opener, actually, Steering Farm will be landing and the flying slam is there. I don't think Zappish is having a hard time in this match. As I said before, this is going to be incredibly hard for Colorize to be able to win versus the world level KFM here. Get up animation is good. And
avoids the ram with the backstep. This man is truly insane.
Well, no answer from Colorize. Just can't really do anything versus Zappish. There is a knockback Typhoon, and I believe Colorize already using his Iron Shoulder. Still no answer, as I said. Comet Strike is up again. Falls up, is trying to find a triple kick. Landing.
Won't matter. There's the Comet Strike days. Launching him into the air. Searing Palm is applied.
Well, there it is. Control, like you said. And there is a ground counter with the Iron Shoulder. Forcing Colorize to
Zappish has to be careful. He doesn't have the luxury of it like his opponent does, and he gets deflected with Colorize has a literally 1%. What is it today with the 1%?
Will Colorize be able to finish?
There's the flying slam.
I believe he thought he has his stun stone chill spec and was hoping he'll be able to use that in the nick of time.
But now there's the smite immediately after the reflex roll.
Tiger, the 2 RFs are
gonna be it, and he launches him, finishing him off in very stylish fashion.
Zappish was a deflect away from having an absolutely flawless victory here. It's kind of a shame. We hit into that deflect spin on top of that Amber Storm. That is unfortunate for him. But as I said, I can't really see why you would put almost any destroyer versus Zappish. Zappish will completely annihilate anyone coming in versus him, especially a destroyer. I can tell you from experience actually that at the moment, I believe the only few destroyers that might actually be somewhat of a have somewhat of a chance versus Zapish will pretty much stay with Mr. B alone. Not too many other destroyers could even come close to the playstyle he gives out. It really doesn't matter how you play it, as Zapish, I believe, played over 1,000 games versus destroyers alone in a 1 versus 1. So good luck
Indeed.
with that. So I think that is kind of might be a mistake for who they chose in that match, but it happened, and it's going to be Zapish securing another point for Ballcute Fanclub.
And as I said before the match, I personally think that Zapish, as the Kung Fu Master, not even necessarily before factoring in player skill, I think that the Kung Fu Master has a pretty good advantage against all the classes present in Updog. And this was just one of the examples. Zapish definitely has put them in a pretty good lead, although it is only a 1-point lead. When you start getting to the 3 versus 3s, Updog will then be forced into a position where they have to win 2 in a row in order to win, which could definitely be, well, an exorbitant amount of pressure.
Of course it is. And I believe that in these matches, especially in the 3 versus 3 matches, the difference that comes here is actually areas, as team Updog do not have a Warlock. It might be putting them in a big disadvantage. Warlock being, I believe, at least at current patches, a godlike tier teammates, especially in 3 versus 3, being able to reset cooldowns for his teammates and dishing out incredible amount of, well, undefendable damage at some points. And
I think it's very important for the side of Updog to keep Cymex as safe as possible, because he is the only one who has a ranged protection ability in that Petal Storm. That will prevent a large majority of damage coming in from the side of areas during those aerials. Or, if it ticks before the aerial occurs, then there will be a large amount of damage mitigated because of that. As soon as Cymex goes down, areas shouldn't really have that many issues with the other two.
So it's gonna be protected silence.
It should be, I think. I feel that would be the way to go. However, now it's Kiev against Cymex again.
For another 1 point in the 1 versus 1 series here. Trying to find that retribution, but not quite landing it, as already second win will be used by PM.
Oh, no. Is this going to be one of those?
Coming in from Cymex.
I know he gets the Guardian Tempest off very quickly.
20% HP. PM super low. The Maelstrom is there. And
yes, the lightning, but it actually whiffs.
And the second wind is being used by Cymex side, but he looks pretty confident in this match so far, as the cat being a nuisance here on PM's side. And yeah, there it is. Cymex finishing him off, making it look so easy. They actually equalizing the series, whereas Updog will be having their 3 points. Ball cut as well, having 3 points. This is the 1v1, as I said before. I believe that if they keep using Cymex for their 1v1s, this is going to be turning out pretty well for them.
It's not good. It's not good putting a Blade Dancer against a Summoner. It's just, we've already seen it happen. This isn't the first time. This isn't anything new. And yet, here we go again. Maybe he was adamant for a rematch, and, well, it evidently did not work in his favor. So once again, the scores have been equalized. It does come down to the 3 versus 3s now, and it does seem like, well, the pressure is now on both sides.
But I believe it's especially on the side of Updog, as I said, Arias being a big factor in this entire matchup, as Updog do not have a Warlock. That time the social luxury is just not there for them. However, if Updog do utilize, take advantage of actually Ballcat Fanclub lack of party protections in a way, it could be incredibly beneficial for them. So they should watch out for that.
And as you mentioned before as well, rightfully so. Pieb is, just as Team Updog need sort of protect the Cymex strategy to prevent areas from just running away with the game. Volcute Fanclub also need to protect Pieb, as he is the only one who has an actual party protection skill in that Maelstrom. Zappish can come in and maybe try and do something with the Rising Dragon, but mostly they want to try and utilize him for the sheer damage potential of the Fighting Spirit buff, him coming in, doing something crazy like, I don't know,
Fighting
Flame
Spirit,
Tremor, Tiger Strike, Damage Comet Strike. We've seen it before.
with 8 hours.
Known
All
to...
together, just...
Ooh,
Yeah,
it's madness.
KFM after the level 55 patch, it was always like that. But now that they have their 8 hours, it's just... I believe some players are legit shaking in their chairs, hoping that it won't be coming out. As it's going to be areas opening up for the side of Ball Cup. Fanclub will be facing off against Cymex here in this first River History of this set here. The second River History of this set here, as Sanctum already been in place. And the Sunflower is still in some damage, however not doing too much here, as Cymex is forced to open some distance with a tool friend. The Tether Blade does connect, and there is a leech, but where is the Fall? Where is Fall? Fall is not jumping. Fall uses Time Distortion, and there is a Soul Shackle.
Anyway.
Indeed, Cymex taking a lot of damage here, but well, chunking down a summoner won't do much for you, as they can heal 3.
That's a summoner for you.
There is the enhanced Siege Shroud. Giving protection here. Zappish with the blue buff actually coming in, as you said, with the Fighting Spirit here. But nothing really gained too much from it, as both interaction lead up, and it's gonna be actually Pieb sitting here, will be against Cymex here, and there is the Grasping Root, kind of distorting the gap closer. Flock of Blades will be using the CCs are just on point on the side of Cymex here. A second win still available for a Pieb here, but I believe the pressure is on now on the side of Cymex here.
By Cymex there, if he gets pulled in now, this could be disastrous. Oh, but he avoids the Phantom Grab with the Enhanced Sea Shroud.
And Colorize coming in here. Well, a second win just being popped on the side of Pieb here. That is an interesting choice. Kind of putting Zappish in an awkward position here.
Very awkward, in fact. Searing Palm is on Colorized, but there it expires. You see with the knockdown. And now it's a bit of a staring contest, but Zappish is definitely at a disadvantage. If he messes up here, if he gets caught out once, this could be over for him, unless his teammates assist. He doesn't want to counter for fear of the guard break knee as well. Firestorm kick missing, Typhoon used for safety as well, and there's the flying.
There's the flying slam connecting on top of Colorized, and it will only take. Well, we already saw how this 1 versus 1 played out, and well, I can't really see how Colorize will make any changes here too much. Does manages to find that upward block with the Mighty Cleave and the knee, forcing the second win on the side of Zappish here, who actually has no escape available now. Arias coming in with that and there it is again. I believe Colorize is not exactly in a comfortable position here. The counter will be popped, and Zappish actually using the second win, I suppose a little bit prematurely versus Brother Bill here. As manages to find the Iron Shoulder, doing some damage here as a Grasping Roots.
Avoiding everything coming his way. Somebody stop this man.
Indeed.
Put some brakes on him.
As Max Agility being popped all the time, actually. Basically have almost 9% uptime on that Max Agility. I'm not even kidding.
Great tag out, by the way.
That tag out, Colorize just basically saying, Brother Bill, will you take this for me? And just takes the fight to the face. As Bastion will be popped, and Sanctum is there. No target available on the side of Brother Bill here. The air combo is good, and a lot of damage actually coming into Brother Bill. There's a leech with the unstoppable air combo. However, Colorize coming in just at the nick of time, kind of changing the targets for areas here, which isn't really comfortable for a Warlock, obviously.
Blade Storm him. We want to see the Blade Storm.
Well, most players will usually grab counter really easily the Blade Storm.
That's why they won't be expecting it at such a high level.
Well, yeah, that's pretty sneaky. But it's something that these players, I believe, tend to forget a little bit, undermine those skills that are easily counterable. And the Tether Blade almost will connect him, but I believe he has expecting to stun.
Oh
so
boy, this could be bad.
any skill will be good for him.
And the Pebble Storm toss, but Ares, of course, managing to get out of there relatively unscathed. In his Sanctum now, but Bill in a bad position. There's the tab leech.
Time Distortion will be popped on the side of Arias here with the Wingstorm, dealing some massive damage actually on Team Updog. Does manages to find the Imprison, and the actually Tether Blade connecting on top of Cymex here. Well, actually, Entanglement breaking Arias' guard just a little bit. There is the party time coming in from the cat. Keep they using Arias all the time. I believe Arias, I believe Zapish, my apologies, keeps coming in and always gets his escape popped in a second.
Indeed, Arias uses time distortion, so now he's in a bit of a rough spot, but wow, the Flurry follows him that far, he manages to tech chase.
Just manages to actually place the Steering Palm with that stun Steering Palm with the Tether Blade. The narcotic change has actually been used on the cat here, so kind of mixed up here. And there's the Talon's eyes open in the distance, forced to use that shift. And well, I believe Zapish could have waited a little bit longer with that, but as we saw before, this is obviously not a very favorable matchup for Colorize here, as he will
This man's timing is just insane. He had to turn away quickly in order to ice guard that.
And actually the enhanced reach off, well, keeping Colorize stealth in the grab, which is kind of an awkward thing that could happen. The persistence is being popped aggressively.
Strangely enough.
Colorize might be forced to switch here, and there is a time distortion will be reset. And Zapish cooldown here, waiting patiently for that shift to end. As Colorize can switch, he has his gust available, choosing to stay inside. I believe that is the Firestorm kick connecting on top of Colorize here. I guess he wanted to bait out the top before he goes out. The
very bad for him unless he gets saved. There's a Maelstrom from Pieb.
Pieb with the last Maelstrom of the Smash for another 40 seconds. Zapish is inside, and he will have to handle himself alone. There's the followed by the 5-point strike, finishing off Zapish here in an incredible method, you could say. Zapish will be going down. Both Cute Fanclub have one member less here to fight off against Team Updog, as the LMBs coming in with those Sunflowers, not doing much on top of
dance. Opting for the knockdown. The cat wasn't near. There's a 5-point strike, catches both of them actually, but he gets knocked down.
Flocka Blades will be able to free him from that damage coming in over in the Lightning Draw. Cymex is in half HP, but he basically plays this whole match in half HP. He basically heals himself all the time.
Indeed.
Chunking down Cymex won't be enough for a Ballcut Fanclub to be able to finish this. They have to bounce him down, and the method so far is working well for them, as Raid won't connect, and he's actually rooted Pieb in a lot of trouble.
He's so dead as well!
Cymex will be going down. This is very bad for Team Updog, as Cymex is incredibly important here for them, as it's gonna be Arias and Pieb will be facing up against Colorize and Brother Bill. This is gonna be obviously a hard match, as Colorize trying to find an opening.
He has to use the distance there as well. He's trying his best to survive with the Typhoon, getting knocked back on areas as well. And again, out of the Sanctum.
Well, there is the Eye of the Storm. It will be using that Void Walk to keep him safe. The backstep will be able to iPhone the Ram, as Guardian Tempest will be used, forcing and the second plane in.
Tag out.
So unlucky.
He gets a deflect on Bill.
It's gonna be expiring here. It's gonna be Arias in a lot of trouble here. A Warlock without a Ball.
He's got nothing.
And the ball is back up again. This could be what Ballcut Fanclub was waiting for, as the Leech does connect. It's gonna be Colorize coming in, but this is probably his last chance to help his teammates. Maybe one more time in 20 seconds. He does connect, and the Soul Shackle is there.
But Bill is gonna probably die until that.
Bill is down, and it's gonna be Colorize facing off whatever is left here on the side of Ball Cut Fanclub as Aries and Pieb are still alive and ticking as
the repulse to cancel the blitz.
it will only I believe what's gonna happen now is that Pieb will come inside eventually and we'll be using that restrain skill. We're gonna be saying a little bit of a deja vu of round one stage. We'll be breaking
40 seconds left.
The pile driver is there, and it's gonna be a quick get up animation on the side of Aries here. No real follow-up coming in from the side of Colorized. Guardian Tempest will be popped from the side of Pieb here. Trying to find a story fang does connect.
Try a backstep, by the way.
There's the Phantom Grab. There is strange skill attempt. There is the necrotic chain.
He's going for it. He's going for it.
Enough, I believe. Yes, it will. And the necrotic chains are gonna be enough to finish him off, and Colorized will be going down. Whew. What a match that was.
What a fantastic spectacle this is. So now Volcute Fanclub are 5-3, which is very, very advantageous for them.
They will only need to win, I believe, one more 3 versus 3 to absolutely secure themselves a place in the North American finals, which...
This is going to be very, very intense, and a lot of pressure is lying on Updog now in order to try and pull this back. But their weaker point, the 3 versus 3s, this is exactly where they are struggling the most. They, for some reason, end up putting themselves in unfavorable situations against the man, the myth, the legend, who, despite his greed in the last match, he was very greedy. He stayed in for an incredibly long amount of time, this Zappish.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time he died, he had done so much work that it didn't really matter.
I am starting to feel there might be somewhat of a curse related to KFMs whenever they're being switched in. They always get chased on. I have a friend that generally was mad at me for always switching up to him, and he would get L comboed and forced to use his second win instantly. And I can understand the frustration of Zappish basically coming in and having no escape available. And he played beautifully. He's evasive, and he's playing well, and he's playing too. Well, like you saw, Colorized had no answer. He can't. It doesn't matter what you do. Zappish is just, his timings are on everything are just on point. And well, personally, I would love to see him getting somewhat of a semi-title to the title he's already holding. Maybe flying to North America and facing off against their KFMs. And
he's not worried. He's fine.
Giving them a little bit of a KFM legend. As we'll be going to a third 3 versus 3 here. I believe Team Updog have to keep Stymex alive in all costs. There is actually a wallbang, and Stymex coming in. Aries already dropping down here. This is awful for Team Volcute Fanclub, as it's gonna be already 2 members. This was so fast. Colorized actually pulling a massive plays for his team here. An absolute MVP. Does manages to find the Blitz and the LNB is dealing some pretty substantial damage on top of Zappish here. As Zappish have to be patient with that second win. No time distortion will be available for them at all this fight, and I believe that is the PvE tremor. I think that is not exactly the spec Zappish wanted here, but does manage to switch.
That was so unfortunate. I feel I'm repulsed by just the usage of Typhoon to prevent Aries from doing anything, and Cymex with his damn bees. I feel like I'm watching Wickerman.
Well, Updog is proving to be more than a worthy adversary, if not almost superior at this match at least, over Team Volcute. As Pierre also struggling a little bit, as he can't really find an answer to this as well. It's gonna be Zappish coming in again, and the Catpin is there. And, what? Well, I think the beacon actually cancelled the Catpin. I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh, no, he used Zappish used the second win to escape the Catpin instantaneously.
Okay. Yeah, the animation was cancelled.
Brother Bill now very, very hard on him.
Will be landing it. well, look at him just playing those swift strike perfectly out of the distance of the second wind, knowing the distance exactly. There is the lightning roll coming in, dropping Zappish pretty low here as the Melson will be coming in from the side of Jeb here, and Tremol actually landing, and Butterbill will be safe here with the shift, and does manages to find a 5-point strike. The bees will be enough.
No, not the bees!
Gonna be Pieb last man standing versus the entirety of the team Updog here. It's, I believe, not a problem for Colorize at the moment, as he seems to be having a pretty decent time here. The Blitz not connecting, Backstab will be keeping Pieb out of that one just for now, as Guardian Tempest will be used. Trying to find that 5-point strike, but whoa! This is a few times where Pieb can't land the 5-point strike.
Dear.
Drag skill will be used, and well, Pieb is still alive and
Interesting gust. But he's now out of it. He can switch if he wants to. And
the Timex will be going in versus Pieb once again. As we saw before, the Flock of Blades will be used, and will keep Pieb out of danger for now. And actually, both escapes are down. It's just a matter of time, I believe, before it's gonna be Team Updog equalizing this match. Cymex looking to close this out, as it's only an escapeless Pieb facing off against him.
Let's get the 5-point strike now.
Lands it, and the knockdown with the cat. Second one will be used on the side.
Again!
Cymex in the light.
But he has his teammates there to help him, and he just gets
gonna be down. The lightning though answer coming in from the side of Butterfield here. It's gonna be wall. Gonna be first of all equalizing this match. The opener coming in from Colorize. Absolutely disgusting. Makes you wanna.
That wasn't scripted. That was real, by the way. Real emotion, and
It kind of seemed, it felt like, well, Aries kind of, thought, well, it's a Destroyer opening versus me. Usually we see, I believe, Cymex being the first one to come in. And
stay away from the wall. Just stay away from the wall areas. This is like the 4th time today that you have been completely just screwed over by the close proximity to the wall. Indeed. When will you learn?
Well, you can't. I mean, what Colorize did, I believe, in the start, he basically did what I like to call a Mr. B move. Mr. B, every time in the Legion tournaments, what he does is basically open up with Blitz. Straightforward. Basically, the most high elo player destroyer in Europe, opening basically like every other destroyer opens. Just Blitz. And
if it works.
Well, if it works, indeed. But, well, the reaction is to roll back. And after you do that, it doesn't matter where you're standing, you're going to be close to the wall. Well, unless...
Bad.
No one would think that a Blitz is going to be coming straight to your face. Arias could have maybe turned his character around and rolled to the other side. But you never think that way, because you don't know if that's what's going to happen. And well, we see an instant replay of what happened before. The Tether Blade will be connected to Allies with the Scourging Strike, Steering Strike will be keeping him safe from that Tether Blade here, as Shift will be used. I believe he's actually running defensive Hurricane, but I'm not actually sure. Persistent will be popped aggressively. Maybe kind of.
He needs it to get out of the endless snares that Warlock might be throwing his way. And of course, he wants to do his utmost. There's the guard break knee coming from downtown, but there's the aerial. And
will be able to save his teammates a little bit of HP coming over, but standing with the back to the wall. Colorize probably thinking about that Typhoon, and it's gonna be Arias with Zappish.
No fear, dashes in, Rising Dragon.
Gets rammed though, however, the Steering Strike here will keep Colorize away. And there's the Dragon Helix coming forward, and The block actually pushing the cat and the Cymex away in that same interfere. The Iron Shoulder actually forcing Brother Bill's escape here. Might be a little bit prematurely. The Dual Strike is there, and second wind will be used as a response to the lightning blow. And the 5 points side of Brother Bill.
He has no lightning draw. He has to run away. He got the opening, but he has nothing to follow it up with. That's so unfortunate. And he missed the Soaring Falcon. His focus regen is now, well, gone.
Indeed, the triple kick will connect. There is the blue ball! Remo completely destroying Brother Bill's HP, dropping him to 30% HP here. Ram does connect as second winner will almost be available again for Zapish, as it's gonna be Pieb coming in versus Colorize, who is gonna use that Searing Strike, just gonna avoid that a little bit of
grab as well. My god, that fire build from Zapish though, that was so unexpected.
With blue buff, indeed. It's somewhat of a... Well, if you're inside, you will never think of running something like that. Perhaps he didn't plan it. And there is the ramp. The follow-up is good on the side of Colorize here. Will be forcing his Gust. The heal Sanctum actually coming in. Might be helping his teammate just a little bit more. The 5 points life won't be connecting on the side of Pieb here. No deflex spin as well.
Can't persistence out of that one, mate.
Brother Bill is there, and actually Brother Bill shares the lightning draw actually with his teammate here, as Colorize is dropping under 50% HP. This does not look good for Team Updog.
Drags back in.
A lot of damage coming in on top of Pieb here, who is holding on to his Photoblade, trying to find that wall bang actually, but to no succession in this one.
Not this time. This is the final 3v3 after all. They really are giving it their all.
Well, Shift is being popped on the side of Colorize here. Sunshine will be healing him a little bit, trying to find that guard break, but...
Oh, the smite!
Well, 10 seconds until Colorize is actually switched out. He does have his gust available. And, well, something pretty...
Zapish has no escape, he needs help!
Using that Wild Viper as an eye from the Phantom Grab will take him out of that animation, as it's gonna be Cymex coming in. The flurry is good, and, well, Cymex getting chased a little bit here. You know, animation is good, the tremor is there, and doesn't quite land.
True friend protects him.
Indeed, it's gonna be Cymex forced to use his reflex all here.
Becken also missing.
Trying to find an opening, as it's gonna be Arius being chased on. Oh, come on. Zapish basically gave his teammates a little bit of that uncomfortable switch timing, as it's gonna be Cymex being
now Cymex
will be going down. No Evolved Colorize coming in for the rescue once again, as Cymex barely alive, still with 20% HP, as it's gonna be Brother Bill coming in here. There's an narcotic but when Nelson will keep him safe from that damage coming over from that, as Brother Bill taking some damage, dropping to 20% HP here, trying to find the lightning blow, the blue buff with the fighting spirit.
Oh no, he's available for Colorize. He's actually gonna kill him.
And that is it for Colorize for this tournament. Saying bye-bye for the last time, as it's gonna be Cymex and Brother Bill as the last people alive on the side of Updog. They will have to do something amazing to be able to somehow turn this around. It's a 5 point strike coming in from Pieb. On point as always.
Perhaps.
Second win is there, and
oh no, this again. He actually gets it! Yes!
And it's gonna be Brother Bill, the absolute last man standing on the side of Updog. Zapish coming in, and I wonder what he's running this time, as it's gonna be Sanctum being placed by Arius, saving his teammate from that initial damage coming in from this. The Rising Tiger is there, and there's the towers being popped on the side of Zapish. It will be enough to secure themselves a place in the North America finals of the Battle Brawl tournament, alongside with Bad Intentions. We have our European teams, and I cannot be happier to have both of these teams represent us, of course. What a match.
Good job. Good job. God damn, that was good. That was... The 3 versus 3 dynamic is just so wonderful to watch when it gets so intense. And especially when you know that you're in such a bad position. You know you can't do anything. Zapish! How does he do it? How does he have this impeccable timing of They're going to tag out now. He's going to tag in. I'm going to tag in. I'm going to flying slam after my blue buff, and Areas can do the dirty work.
Mm-hmm. And I believe the only match that Team Updog won in the 3 versus 3 was the wall bang by Qualifiers.
Indeed, yes.
You still need to give them credit for putting quite a fight in these, but the 3 versus 3, I believe, was, for more reason than one, was unfavorable for them. It was obviously Ball Cut Fanclub are no pushovers. It doesn't matter what they're playing. They played impeccably, and they deserve this place in the North America. And well, I believe that is it. I want to just tell everyone before we go, don't forget to check Blade and Soul on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Of course, you can follow us on that. And well, I believe that is it. I want to thank all the players coming in today. Woo! You guys again gave us a show that's amazing, just absolutely amazing. As you can see on the brackets here, once again, just a reminder: Bad Intentions. Okay, the team with Ryuki, Mr. B, Mr. B, Antenna. Indeed, kind of a brain fart over there. And
no worries. After that match, it's perfectly acceptable.
And team Ball Cute Fan Club with Areas, Zapish, and Pierre. As well, who would you want to give the MVP to this last 3 versus 3? Because I feel like
you already know who the MVP is. Everybody knows who the MVP is. There's no reason for me to even say it, but I will, out of respect for your boy, Zapish.
And of course, on the NA side, you guys will be seeing, I believe Kid Fox and Gamma will be representing those matches. It's going to be generic name 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course Team Guardian and Well and Lethal. All of these teams with the North American players will be trying to compete against each other to see who will be facing off against Team Bad Intentions and Ball Cute Fan Club. And I'm not missing that ever. If I could have watched it live, I would go to North America and watch it live. I'm not even kidding. A chance to be able to watch the Clash of Titans. This is what I like to call it.
Don't worry. If I could, I'd save you a seat.
Well, as you might know, the plan is already underway on that. And later tonight, everyone, you will be able to watch it. I believe we will have all the information on the Twitter, and it will be posted. So keep in touch in those social medias, because that is the place to be. So
also, if you want to follow us for whatever reason, then you can do that as well. Yeah, he's probably a bit more active on that than I am, but stay tuned. We might actually update that.
Well, I know I'm a big fan of Barney. I'm following him on all the social medias. He just doesn't know it yet, of course. And
of course, before we sign off, a big thanks to everybody working behind the scenes on production and whatnot for a remarkably smooth stream and everything else. So thank you very much, and especially to Julianne and Maggie for letting us work.
Of course, it was not easy. This was one of the smoothest tournaments I ever saw in the history of. You know what? I would even go as far as to say esports in a way. It was.
Wow.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Well, any last word, Bunny, before we sign off?
Well played to every single team we may have had. It just goes to show how much skill actually exists within the community. And I think that this is a great beacon for newer players or for maybe veteran players to kind of come in and get into the PvP scene so that we can expand this even more. And very happy, still upset at Kelly QQ for not showing up. How dare you? But everybody else, well played. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and this brings our second day to its conclusion. The European Battle Brawl Qualifiers. Day 2 is finished, and our teams are gonna Bad Intentions and Ball Cute Fan Club. Again, thanks for everyone, the players, the viewers, of course. Without you, none of this would have been possible. And I'm Angetsu. This is Barney. Signing off until next time, and well, stay tuned, everyone.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Thanks for tuning in to Day 2 of the European Battle Brawl Qualifiers. Congratulations to Bad Intentions and Cute Fanclub for making it to the finals. We'll be seeing them battle the NA champions over at the Battle Brawl Finals. Don't forget to tune in later today for Day 2 of the North American Qualifiers at 5 p.m. PSD. And as always, we'll have the video up on our YouTube channel for your enjoyment at youtube.com/bladeandsoul. You can already enjoy Day 1 of the European and North American Qualifiers, which are up on our channel right now. Don't forget to keep up with the esports news at esports.bladeandsoul.com and follow us on social at Blade and Soul on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later tonight at 5 p.m. PST.